Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. This is your Unorthodox Wellness Coach, and I am here to kick off my last event of the year. And this is a recap from the first event that I did in person, which was the Business Expo and Business Empowerment Expo, and it was held on the Eastern Shore, and it was a great turnout, impactful, and I wanted to be able to present this again virtually for everyone to have the experience, and also I wanted to be able to have people to get the nuggets and the tools and the tips they needed to really go into 2022 really strong. So I want to welcome everyone. I want to take a moment and have everyone to share this live all around. YouTubers, share this live. All of my viewers, share this live. It's going to be some great information. I'm going to give some folks a few minutes to come in. We have a great lineup that is going to be sharing and pouring and giving great expert tips. These are expert speakers coming on that are really doing well in their businesses. Not business, but businesses. They have several businesses. Some have businesses and nonprofit organizations. So we want to make sure that we do our due diligence to provide information. And this is something that I'm presenting on my birthday, and this is my gift to the community and to all of those that's going to be tuning in on today. So this is what you do. You want to get your phone out and click tag and share. Let everyone know that the Business Expo Empowerment virtual experience is live. They are live and they are getting ready to really pour out into the community. And I'm going to take the time to share myself. I want to thank you in advance for taking the time out to come and, just have this experience with us, because one of the things that I found to be very insightful and helpful for me is that I learn a lot. And sometimes things is presented that I always get a enhanced takeaway. So I get a different type of takeaway every time. So we're going to go ahead into the community and we're going to share this live here. I'm sharing it. I want everyone to share it. Share it to all of your platforms. And we're going to get started here. We're going to get moving here. If you have any questions, if there's anything that you would like us to touch on or expound on, put it in the chat, you guys. If there's anything that you would like us to touch on and expound on, let us know. We're going to make sure that we try to cover all bases throughout this program on today, okay? So make sure you put all of your questions in the chat. Make sure that you got your pencil and your paper or your iPad to take notes, because I'm telling you, this is going to be a jam-packed, informative event. And this is something that sometimes people pay loads of money to, get this information, and we are presenting it to you today for free. So make sure that you take full advantage of this. Take full advantage of it, okay? All righty here. I see a lot of hearts. In the chat there. So I'm glad to see that someone is excited about. Thank you so much, and good morning to you. Good morning to all that is tuning in. Good morning. So we're not going to really delay the time, because I want to make sure that the speakers are not rushed and they really take the time and be able to give you everything that they have that's going to really help those individuals that are tuning in today. So without further ado, I am going to bring on the very first speaker that's going to be presenting today. and just give us a few minutes and bear with us. One of the things that I have learned too is that you got to be flexible. You got to be willing to shift. You got to be willing to adjust. And that is one of the things that this pandemic has taught us. So we here are getting ready to bring on the Miss Dr. Frances Ann Bailey. And Dr. Bailey is the CEO of Frances Bailey Enterprises, LLC, and the nonprofit organization Red Door Empowerment. As a certified life recovery, empowerment coach, and certified Christian counselor, Dr. Frances seeks to help women who were once like herself to overcome life obstacles, break free from bondage, and recover from life setbacks to keep their zeal for their purpose. So y'all grab your pencils and your paper. Y'all get ready to get this great information that she's going to present to y'all. And you will now hear Dr. Frances Ann Bailey.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, because people may be tuning in from all over the world, everywhere, right? First, I want to say I am excited about being on this expert panel to share today about business. My topic is going to be growing in business, because we don't never want to get in business and stay stuck, right? God is a God that goes from glory to glory, right? So he wants us to go from glory to glory, from level to level in business. He wants us to prosper. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Frances Ann Bailey. If they have not introduced me, I am a certified life coach, empowerment coach, Christian counselor. I am a best-selling author, TEDx speaker, and I am excited to be here just to encourage and give some wisdom, some insight, some nuggets. I understand that this workshop, this panel is based on a Christian foundation. So of course I'm going to pull from the word, because that has been the only thing that has kept me in business. Well, not the only thing, but part of the thing, the main thing that keeps me in business and keeps me going in business. So I dare not share that part in this presentation. So I'm going to share my screen. Unfortunately, I couldn't be with you guys live, but I'm just excited that I'm here. I'm here. And I ask that you grab a pencil, a piece of paper, anything that you can to get ready to write these nuggets down. If you are tuning in on your phone, screenshot this, go back to it, listen to the recording, but just stay connected to this, because this is going to be some gems that's going to be shared. So I'm going to share my screen, because I know time is wasting. You just bear with me just a minute while I get this screen up here. So we're going to be talking about empowerment to grow in business. As I said earlier, we don't want to stay stuck. We don't want to stay at the same level. That's not God's plans for us. His plans, he clearly says, is to prosper us, right? We want to go from level to level, but we have some work to do. We have a part in growing in business. So I'm going to start with my next slide, which is do it God's way and do it legally. I want to say that again. We want to do it God's way and then do it legally. Psalms 37, verse 5 said, commit your way unto the Lord and trust in him, and he will do this. I just don't know who needs to know this, but you need to plug in what you needed at this part. You know, in business, this is a business conference, right? A business panel and workshop. So basically, he will do this in business for you, but you have to do what? You have to first commit your way unto the Lord, commit your plan, commit your blueprint, commit your business plan, your idea. Yes, he says write the vision and make it plain, but you also have to give it to him. Give it to him. And then look, once we get in business, we give it to him and guys begin to manifest this thing for us. We have to do things right, right? God likes things in order. And sometimes we aren't allowed to make it to the next level in him until things are in order. He will not allow us to go to another level where the foundation isn't stable enough to keep us there. So you want to have a stable foundation. Get with someone who can go ahead and get your LLC official. And once you get it official, or your nonprofit official, once you get these things official, you want to make sure that you stay up on your paperwork. Do your paperwork that's required of you. Too much is given, much is required, right? So you're gonna have to, it's yearly paperwork that you have to file to make sure that your business stay in compliance once you make it legal. But you have to submit your will to his will, have things in order, because you are on a level of influence. When you become a business owner, it's not just about you running a business. People are looking up to you. People are watching you. People are ready to buy from you. You are on a level of influence. So therefore, you have to be in a good standing before people. I'm not saying to put on a visage or anything, right? Because we can only be who we are. But you want to make sure that your foundation is correct. So when you are standing up and you are on that level of influence as a man in business, as a woman in business, you are teaching those who are watching you to do it God's way and do it legally. So I challenge you, if you have a business idea, if you are launching your business, if you're doing things in business, but it's not done legally, find yourself a person, a business coach who can go ahead and get you started with a business plan, get you legally formed into a LLC, or if you're looking to be a 501c3, get you someone who you can connect with and go ahead and get your 501c3, your nonprofit in order. Just some nuggets to throw out, like if you're thinking to run a nonprofit, you can't solicitate to want to raise money unless sometimes you have your 501c3 in good standing, you know, or that you actually have a 501c3. You can't go out here asking for money at all times, depending on what it is, unless people just want to give, you know, can't stop people from just giving. But acting as if you are a 501c3. Take time, and I challenge you to do it God's way, commit it first to him, and then do it the legal way. Network and collaborate. You want to grow in business? You got to network and collaborate. But guess what? Proverbs 18:24 says, a man that have friends must show himself friendly. So therefore, in order to have effective networking and collaborating, you got to be friendly. You got to get past that. This is the way I know how to do it. You got to be able to mingle. You got to be able to understand other perspectives, try something different, be open to change, right? So, but be friendly. You can't be walking around and expecting to grow in business with a snobby attitude. You're only going to get but so far, right? Because we can only do but so much ourselves. Everybody, whether we want to believe that or not, needs somebody. We need somebody. We need each other, right? But to effectively network and collaborate, because you don't want to partner with people and get but so far, and then all of a sudden the connection breaks. Relationships are important. Collaboration is important. Networking is important. And we want to be able to make sure that we're able to keep those connections once you connect with somebody. Be friendly and not so much competitive. Yes, we're in the marketplace. I understand that. You have your people you're a life coach, the other person is a life coach. You do things at different levels with different anointings, right? But still, don't be so competitive that you miss the opportunity to connect with someone who could take you to the next level and you both go at the same time. So don't be so focused on just self-centeredness, and be open to being friendly and collaborating while you are in business. Networking and collaborating has taken me to where I'm at. I'm speaking this stuff, everything that I'm teaching or that I'm going to teach, I have done. I have collaborated with individuals. I have networked with individuals, and my life has went to a whole nother level. And mind you, I have only been, for those who follow me, if you don't follow me, but mind you, I have only been in business for 1 year. And I have already went international. To God be the glory. But guess how it happened? It didn't just me waking up doing this thing on myself. Francis had her. I had God in his respectful place. And I also networked and collaborated because you need people. You do need people in business. Gain yourself a mentor or a coach. Guess what? I'm a life coach. Remember all of that stuff I said? I'm a life coach, certified life coach, empowerment coach, leadership coach. But guess what? I have a coach. I'm a coach with a coach. I am a coach with a mentor. A coach helps you to get to the next level. Your mentor helps to connect the dots, right? So you want to make sure that you have both. Reach out to individuals, right? I love this scripture where it says James 4:2, you desire to have, right? You desire, but you do not have, so you murder, you covet, you can't obtain, so you fight and you quarrel against each other because you don't have because you do not ask. How many times do if we could be transparent, have we sat back and said, Lord, look what she got? And instead of sometimes just going and saying, can you help me? You'll begin to covet other people's stuff when you don't know what it took for them to get what they have. But just ask them, can you help me? Can you give me some insight? Can you guide me? Can you mentor me? It's going to either be a yes or a no. But guess what? Whatever God has for you, he's going to send the connections. He's going to have a yes in all the no's somewhere to get you to where he needs to get you at. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be prideful. Listen, it's some people I mentor who are in their 40s and I'm 35 or in their 50s. Don't let age fool you. If you are older and you need to ask somebody younger, do that. If you're younger and you need to ask somebody older, do that. Do what it takes. Gain yourself a mentor or a coach, right? Let the pride go because you're only destroying yourself. You're only holding yourself back in business. Let it go. Somebody, and don't be afraid to take the wisdom from. Some people have wisdom and they didn't have the experience, but they have the wisdom because somebody had the experience and gave them the wisdom, so they didn't have to go and experience what the other person experienced. They just obtained the wisdom. So therefore they're telling you because they have the wisdom. So don't be like, oh, you didn't go through that, so you can't tell me about business. They may just have the wisdom. Stop looking at other people's stories, and if they didn't walk in those shoes, think that they can't help you. Be open. I'm always a student, always a student. So you want to remain a student. And to do that, part of that helping is to gain a coach and a mentor. I'm not going to hold y'all long. I think this is my last one. Motive check. You want to do a heart check at all times in business because what? The Bible says the heart is deceitful and wicked, right? We can say our heart is pure all we want, but we have to ask God every day to create in us a clean heart because our heart is crooked, it's wicked. So we want to do a heart check at all times. We can start off in business doing things with the right motive, with the right heart, and it could turn. Something could happen and it could just twist our heart and we don't even notice it. So at all times, take a step back in business and check your heart because you don't want the substance of your soul to be messed up where nothing grows. What we were talking about, growth in business, right? So in order to grow the soil, the foundation, everything has to be in place. So you want to make sure that your soil is okay. Build from a place of purity and in a place of purity. So you want to start building from a place of purity. But when you keep building and you're into whatever God has launched you into business, stay in that place of purity. Do not change. Don't change your integrity. Don't mess your character up, right? Because sometimes people have a tendency to start things off right until they feel like they got what they got from God in business. And then where is the integrity? Where is the character? You do not have to compromise in business for it to grow. How do I know that? Because I do not compromise. And God will do everything that he sets for you to do because it goes right back to the scripture. He knows the plans for me. So why do I have to compromise to get there? I don't have to. Build in a place of purity. Keep your integrity. And that's doing the right thing, even when nobody is watching. Because we can always try to do the right thing when all eyes are on you. But in business, Are you doing the right thing even when no one's watching you? Right? Are you taking account for all that money that you bringing in? I know it might be stuff in those potatoes, it might be stuff on my days, but are you taking in account every time somebody pay and they cash out? Is that going on your taxes? I'm talking about integrity, right? Because I'm talking about practicing and having good character now, because you don't want to get comfortable with not doing something at a small amount. Be faithful over the little things, I make your rule over much, right? If you're not faithful with the little stuff, you're not going to be faithful over the big stuff, right? So, that is some good things to keep in mind. Do it God's way, right? I'm gonna go back through those steps again. Do it God's way, and do it legal. Submit your plans unto Him. Show yourself friendly. Stop being mean, and network and collaborate. Stop being self-centered and think you just self-made, right? And collaborate. Gain yourself a mentor or a coach. Let the pride go. Don't think that you're not good enough because you asked for help. You're actually good enough because you asked for help. You're trying to get there. So gain yourself a coach or a mentor and ask for help. And check your motive. Make sure that your motive stays pure while you're in business, when you're looking to elevate, when you're looking to grow, when you have your having that character. And remember, do not compromise. In business, you do not have to compromise when you have God in His rightful spot. So I really hope, I don't know if this took me my whole time, but I pray that this helps somebody. Pray that someone who's in business, that's looking to grow in business, if you take these, because a lot of times we want the money and we want to know the strategy and we want to know the procedures, but if we don't have the main stuff in place, none of the other stuff is going to work, because you could have strategy with no integrity, right? You could have strategy and not friendly. So you can have all the strategy you want, but you need a team, but because you're not friendly and you can't collaborate and network, and you're building nothing. So I want to have the main things in the foundation. I want to have the main stuff in place. So then when God begins to send the strategy and the wisdom, then all of that other stuff, and you have the main things that can keep, you have the roots that will keep your business grounded. So I pray that you enjoyed this. I am going to stop sharing my screen. I am going to come back up. I thank you once again. I wish that I could have been live to be a part of this, but I'm excited that I was still allowed to share and help someone. I pray that this blessed you. Until then, love you all. I pray that you prosper in business.
Okay, let me unmute myself. Wow, Dr. Bailey, that was wow, what an amazing way to kick off um this virtual event. My goodness, that was so good. So many great nuggets that was shared. Some of the things that stuck out to me, which is something that I very much pride upon, and that is one of the foundations for me, is to do it God's way. You just can't fail. Ask for help. Ask for help. A coach needs a coach. You cannot be a coach and not think you don't need a mentor or a coach. That is really a disrupted mindset to have, really. Dysfunctional mindset. Um, Check motives and always move in integrity. Thank you, Dr. Bailey, for presenting that great presentation and speaking and dropping some very valuable nuggets that I think all business owners and aspiring business owners and people of purpose should always have. And I hope y'all jotted notes down. Again, this replay will be up. This was amazing. I really appreciate all of the speakers that have taken the time to be a part of this. If you thought this was good, you just wait, because it just builds, it gets better and better. When I say we got some powerhouses up here today, we got some powerhouses. And when they take the stage, I'm telling you, this is really gonna impact like never before. This is a day of impact, and that's what I wanted to take place, and that's exactly what's happening. Again, thank you, Dr. Bailey. She's in the final stages of her residency as a doctor, becoming a doctor, getting her doctoral. So, but we're gonna move right along here. Y'all know I do have a goofy side, and I like to be real life, real time, you know. So you might see a goofy side of me. I've been on full throttle, so let's move right along here. We're getting ready to go to our next speaker. I want to keep y'all engaged. So listen here. This is something that everybody needs to make sure that they get ready, and whip out your pen, your paper. You might want to get grandma, boo boo, and them, all of them in the living room, because this is something that everybody needs to participate and listen. I am honored to have Ayana Smith to come and talk about money. She is a financial professional, published author, educator, and speaker. She is passionate about helping individuals and families protect, save, and grow money by sharing and teaching financial concepts related to building wealth and leaving a legacy through the vehicle of life assurance and tax-free strategies. And I had the honor of meeting this beautiful queen recently, and through the virtual world, social media world, and we just really had a great connection. And I'm honored that she agreed to come on and share some of the great tips that have success her as she is today. So hear ye, Miss Ayana Smith. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to let you take the stage and share your information. Take your time here. You got, your time frame, and just drop those nuggets. I'm coming off the screen now.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. And, it's her birthday, Jeanna, the visionary of this event. And I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak today, today, tomorrow, whenever you're watching the replay. But those who are watching live, thank you so much for being here. And I hope I bring some value, drop some nuggets. I can't tell the whole story in one day. So that's why I'll say up front, we'll need to get together so that we can just, explore more, because everybody's situation is different. And you want to, as a person with care, take advantage of walking each person through what they need. So, but I'm going to give you some nuggets, hopefully that will give you some stuff to springboard you and get you going and get you thinking as that business owner, but also with practical tips that just will help us each day as we're going along. Because wouldn't you agree that money makes the world go round? And the money kind of, well, let me say it like this. I say it like this when I say on my show. I said money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. It's always saying something. It's always telling us what to do. If we look at our bank accounts, it's telling us what we can do, cannot do, want to do, wish we could do, almost can do, maybe not as much, or what we can just overly do and give and express ourselves through that gift giving and being able to meet a need, our needs, and then God's needs, and then helping the community. So I know that's the heart of the visionary today, Rangiana, that we will all lift as we climb. So let's looking at some things. My name, of course, is Ayana Smith, and you see that I'm a financial professional. And I host a show, Money Talks with Ayana Smith, on usually like Thursdays, but you can watch everything in the replay. So that's the virtual world that we're living in. But the main things that I like to hit to give some ideas to think about with business owners. Of course, before you became a business owner, more than likely you were doing something. You had some type of job, or if you've always been an entrepreneur, great. But now it's time to, as our first speaker led into, doing things the right way and making sure everything is all together and straight, and making sure that we're not, I've heard one of my my coach friends say, unbootleg our business. So we're going to unbootleg just the way we think about taking care of the financial side of things. Now, I would say here are some words that are not curse words. You ready? Life insurance. Yeah, life insurance is not a curse word. Sometimes we've had different mindsets and ideas that we have to help rearrange. And one thing that I would say, as I help and talk to people, I know that we have to lay the groundwork for mindset first. We just can't jump all into people's purses, because two things that we are touchy about and we're private about, as well as we should be, are our health and our money. Those are two things that we're not just going to freely share unless we are comfortable and that we trust, and that we can say, okay, we think that this may work, and that I'm going to reveal myself to you to let you know how much I actually weigh, as how much I try to portray that I weigh. And then I let you know how much money I have as what I actually have, and what are my goals and what are my dreams in those two areas, because sometimes it comes from a painful place. So we have to look at that. And then other times it's like, okay, yeah, I'm good. Let's go. Let's tell me what I need to know, and let's go straight to the top. So I like to uncover and pull back those layers a little bit. And so when I said that life insurance is not a curse word, in some communities, life insurance is really a shy away from. I'll share a personal story, and some of you may remember this or can attest to this. I remember the little man coming by my grandmother's home and picking up the premium, and never really explaining anything, never sharing anything about, I didn't even realize, I didn't know what my grandmother even had as a policy. And I'm talking about this not to push life insurance down your throat, but I'm going somewhere with this. Here's the thing. If we have enough, not just life insurance, but shift the mind to being properly protected. It's a difference. It's a difference between just having life insurance and being properly protected. So as a business owner, we want to make sure we're properly protected and that our business is properly protected, because as we look at this, it drills down. We want to have personal things to cover ourselves, yes. But then if we're looking toward business, we want the money that we're making to make more money. And number one, money can be made through that vehicle of life insurance. It is safe, and it is something that can grow if you have the proper type. That's why I said you have to discuss what's going to be the best thing if you qualify for that. Those are the things that we even talk about. Life insurance can help the business owner with making sure that they are covered as far as their retirement. So we want to make sure that the retirement is covered. You don't want to work forever. I know you love what you do. I know you do. You may be just getting started with the things that you do, but you don't want to have to do them forever. Do what you love to do. But then we want to transition into not having to do it forever, because that's all we can do. Understand? I hope that makes sense. Is that we want to build up ourselves to where the money and the revenue that we made can then be placed somewhere so it can grow and properly protect us in our older years, and also leave a legacy for our children. Is it important for you to leave something for your children? Is it important for you to help people along better than where maybe you started out? Just think about if there's a nest egg left and you designate and earmark funds and say, I want my children to go to college, or I want my children to be able to start a business, or I want my children to be able to get real estate, and you earmark those funds so it can be designated. You can tell that money where to go, because I'll get into that in a moment. You can tell that money where to go so that you'll make sure it's not messed up, because sometimes we have that fear. I don't want anybody messing up the money and just spending it and going through it. These are the things as business owners, when we set things up in a contractual manner, we set things up so that they make sense. We can direct where monies can go as they are flowing in, and that you won't have to turn over in your grave saying, oh my goodness, all my hard work has been squandered. So getting back to making sure that the business owner has what they need, you have to be properly protected through that vehicle of life insurance. Think about things such as, we have things such as key man policies that basically if you're the key person that runs the business and something happens and you can't run it anymore, or salaries need to be paid for someone to be brought in to do what you can do, it may, because you're so great at what you do, it may take 4 or 5 people to actually break down all the jobs that you actually do to help your business to function. So if you passed away, God forbid, or got too sick, there are things that we could put in place that could basically help to pay salaries if necessary, or pay other people to come in if the owner actually passed away. And I mean, we're not trying to rush anyone away, but we're just trying to make sure that the mindset is tweaked and you think about things in a different way. Like, how can I maintain legacy? Legacy can be maintained by making sure you have things in place so that things can go on when you're not here, or if you get too sick. Because sometimes, in this season that we're in, people have gotten sick, and I'm pretty sure businesses have been majorly impacted. But if things were in place, like we would say those life insurances, and then the additional benefit, living benefits, then some businesses didn't even have to miss a beat or skip a beat, and it kept the family going while that person was rehabilitating. So let me go to my next point, talking about those living benefits, which still rolls into life insurance. Living benefits functions in the fact where if you get heart attack, cancer, stroke, and I know our healthcare professionals can totally know where I'm going with this. You can't transfer yourself, can't feed yourself, can't bathe yourself, can't clothe yourself. Those things fall under living benefits, similar to long-term care benefits that will allow you to glean money and to keep you going. And that care is very high. The average cost of nursing homes and things like that are astronomical, $8,000 to $10,000 to $12,000 a month. And let me do a news flash. For most of the people that are probably listening and fusing into this broadcast, we're probably somewhere between the 30s and the 40s, and maybe some in the 50s. So do you know, seriously factual, look it up, there are people in nursing homes between the ages of 18 and 64 that need that care. Well, there's no care for our age group. When you look at just being able to go in and get long-term care and living benefits taken care of if we get too sick, we have to figure it out. And just being protected as on the personal level and as a business owner just takes life to a next level way of thinking, and it reduces that stress on what will happen if I cannot continue to work my business. Because for the full-time entrepreneur, you're it. That's it. If you don't have anybody that's backing you, you're your all in all, and hooked into God. That is it. Then you have to have those safety nets and those protections in place. So first of all, you need to look at that retirement. Second of all, you need to make sure in that retirement you have that proper protection. And then, of course, you need to have your living benefits. If 3 things I can leave with you is that, please, you have to plan for your retirement, and you can plan for your retirement through the vehicle of life insurance. There are other strategies, and they are excellent strategies. I always say, let's put them all together. But I know what I specialize in to help people get a different view, get a different mindset. So I don't want to be all over the place in what I service and help people with, but I just want to bring your mindset to the forefront to let you know that life insurance is not a curse word. It is really a blessing, and it can just grow and grow and grow, and where money never runs out for you and your family and your business. So as a business owner, it has to be a part of your portfolio. It has to be a part of that business plan, making sure that you are okay in the event you can't run that business, making sure that your retirement is intact, and also leaving a legacy for your family because you want to send kids to college, right? And make sure that your business is going to be franchised and go on and on and on. That's what the big namers have done. So why not think of yourself as a big namer and do what the big namers have done and elevate yourself to success? So again, please connect with me. And my name is Jeanna Smith. I'm a financial professional. You can connect with me, www.askjeanna.com. But the main thing, I just want to have conversations with people just to get to know you. It's all about getting to know you, because I can't help anybody, nor do I feel comfortable giving a blanket statement to anybody and making a diagnosis, I'm like a financial doctor. The doctor doesn't just give you pills before he hears or she hears what you have going on. So let's make sure that we connect. And I thank Rangiana so much on her birthday for having this event and inviting me onto the stage.
All right, here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that great information. Listen, you guys, if you have any questions or concerns, if you want to learn more about money and the benefits of making your life insurance work for you while you are living, please get with Miss Smith here. She'll be able to assist you in that. Okay. And I'm just loving everything that's being shared. And it's just it's important to have life insurance, but just don't get any life insurance. Don't just say get a policy to say you have a policy. You know, you want to make sure that it does work for you and it's gonna be beneficial to your entire family. So thank you so much for sharing that. Listen, this is let me share something with you guys here. And I've been saying this probably for a while now. This is the last quarter. This is the last quarter of 2021. Now, if you have not embarked into your 2022 yet, now, I'm gonna pray that you catch up, because that means you're really behind already. I'm just going to be honest. You're really behind already. If you have not embarked into your 2022 now in the end stages of 2021. So I really want y'all to don't look at this as just another live or another virtual event. And anything that's taken place within these last few days here, these last few weeks, that individuals are presenting to you to provide valuable nuggets. Don't take it as just another live or it's just another virtual event. No, take the sincerity of this is very vital for a lot of us. And for me to present on my birthday, that means that, you know, I really wanted to make sure that first, like I said, do my due diligence, but I want to see people win. And I don't want people to go into their 2022 in cycles and reoccurring patterns, because that's what we tend to do. And that we don't pivot or we don't reach a certain level and we are still missing some things that we need to have in place. So this here is very, important to me, that people really grasp the importance of understanding that this is a very vital moment. Every detail of what you do right now will determine how your 2022 is. And if you are not experienced the glimpse and experiencing some of the blessings of 2022 in your 2021, then you really want to make sure you get with us, get with someone, and see what it is you need to do to get to that place that God is desiring you to be at. So I just wanted to share that with you. That is going to be something I'm going to be repeating, probably going till December the 31st. That our last few weeks here is very vital. So I'm going to move forward. Thank you so much for the presenters so far. Thank you so much for the queen that's working the background here. I'm not tech savvy, I'm going to tell you that right now, but I thank God for people in place that are willing to assist in this event here. And we're getting ready to bring on another dynamic powerhouse. I'm excited. This is Miss Kiana Bryant. She is a transformational speaker, next level coach, and publisher. If you are an aspiring author, a business owner, an author looking to launch another project, you want to make sure you listen to everything she has to say. If you're a business owner or a person of purpose, you want to make sure that you listen to everything that this young lady has to say. I am honored to bring on the stage Miss Kiana. I call her, she is the coach, she is the motivator, she is the mentor, she's the publisher, evangelist, prophet. Honey, I am excited to have her on. And look, take the stage, y'all. Listen to all that she's going to pour. Take your time. Kiana, I believe it's some things that you're going to really say that's going to really help us all. So here, y'all, Miss Kiana Bryant.
Good morning on this beautiful Saturday morning. How are you guys? My name is Kiani B, and I just want to first honor the host. I want to say thank you so much, Jeanna, for giving back on your birthday. And I want to say happy birthday to you, and let the blessings of the Lord overtake you in 2022. Just an honor to be here with you guys. I am fighting something with this weather change back and forth. So I'm a little under the weather, but I would not miss this morning for the world. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit today. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me, tell you what it is that I do, and then give you a way to contact me if you need to contact me going forward. I am an author. I'm a certified life and business coach. I'm a speaker, and I am a publisher. I believe in all things purpose, because I believe if you know the value of a thing and you know the purpose of the thing, then you'll properly use the thing. So purpose is a very big deal. And I remember living my life for a long time, just existing, just surviving, and not really living in purpose. I did not know my value. And it's important for you to know your value, right? Because when you know your value, you will come into alignment with certain decisions and choices that you make throughout your life regarding your value, regarding what you were born to do, regarding your destiny. You'll come into agreement with that, and it won't be something that you're resisting or fighting, something that's beneath what God has called you to do. So I do have some notes here. I'm going to try to say these little points that I jotted down here, but we're going to just see what the Lord says, okay? My heart's desire really is for leaders, is for influencers, because not all challenges regarding leaders, regarding people of influence are created equal. And so what I've seen is some powerful, gifted, graced, anointed men and women have circumstances in life, right? Normal happenstance. Life is going to come to us every day, but they got stuck and they got winded and they got traumatized by a thing and they didn't want to do it anymore. They didn't want to start anymore. I personally experienced that myself, where I felt like my voice and the thing that God told me and gifted me and graced me to do was something that was cost too much. Does anybody feel like that? Like it cost you too much to move forward. It cost you too much to live out this thing that God says do. So I found myself traumatized. I found myself saying, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to move forward anymore. I don't want to minister anymore. And the truth is that when you're kingdom, everything in your hands is ministry. Everything in your hands is ministry. So I wanted to help people kind of move past their circumstances. And that's kind of really what pushed me into doing what I need to do. If you guys are life and business coaches, right? The truth of the matter is you've been doing this the whole time. If you're a life coach, you've guaranteed always been a life coach before you got that certification or before you've deemed yourself as such, because it's something out of you to be able to walk people through journeys, right? To be able to get them from point A to point B and to make sure that they move forward. It's a blessing to have and it's needed. Life coaches, business coaches, any type of coach, in addition to your therapist, if you need one. But I'm not going to go there on you guys this morning because I believe in Jesus and therapy. Yes, Lord. So today I'm going to talk to you about the beautiful world of entrepreneurship regarding authorship. The beautiful world of entrepreneurship regarding authorship. Okay. In 2017, I wrote my first book. It took me 4 weeks to write this book. And this is how this came. I wrote this book because I'm the go-to in the family, like, you know, the one that comes, the one that people call for godly counsel and wisdom, right? And so it seemed like literally loved ones, family members, and friends all were going through a similar challenge at that time. It was like the end of 2016, right? The shifting of a season, and everybody was going through different challenges, but it was surround sound that everybody felt stuck. I mean, no matter the age and no matter the gender and no matter what they did in life and whatever else, they just were like, I just don't know how to move forward past this. And so I was like, you know what? I wrote a book. The first book I wrote was called Choose Life: How to Get to Your Next Level and Get Unstuck. It had to do with every life experience that I was providing counsel for at that time. And I realized that God just made it very clear that it was a specific message that he said, which is basically you had to choose where you wanted to go. You had to choose where you wanted to go. So I wrote this book in 4 weeks, and I wrote it as if I was writing directly to, my sister, my mom, my best friend, my cousin, my colleague. I wrote it directly like I was writing to them. And it was always trying to give them instruction as to what to do. So the book is a strategy, and it provides a way to give you a heart vent. That book will actually be relaunching at the beginning of 2022. Because although it was written in 2017, it's probably more relevant today than it was back then. So I go ahead and I write, and I find an editor at my church at the time. I don't really know what I'm doing. All I know is I'm about to publish this book on my own. So I go to YouTube University and Google University, and I go read and I look up articles, and I'm up all night really just trying to figure out, how do I publish this book? What do I do? So I said, okay, my daughter's birthday's in March. I'm going to go ahead and publish this book in March. And then literally the week before that I was going to publish the book, something happened where I ran across that special YouTube video, and they said, if you go ahead and directly publish your book on Amazon, there's a possibility you don't own all your rights and royalties, because I need to bulletproof that book a little bit more. So I held off on the launch, right? I held off. I went ahead and did it about a month later. I had to gather some funds and get some stuff together. So I went ahead and published that book in April. Probably that same month, I went ahead and applied for an anthology with a national best-selling author. I was chosen to be at that anthology, and then chosen to speak at the last that conference when the anthology was launched. I also got my first assignment and speaking engagement as a life coach to a small women's organization and group here local in Hampton Roads. So that was my first time doing that. Meanwhile, maybe about 2 or 3 months later, I'm kind of making some traction, right? Because before that, some people knew me because I'm kind of like the social butterfly, but a lot of people did not know me, especially as an influencer. So then going towards the end of that year, I write another book. I'm really pressing into the vein of life coaching. I got some life coaching clients coming in and everything else. I still work my 9-to-5 job at the time. And then I say I write this book because the specific type of life coach, my niche had to do with work-life balance, and it had to do with time management. So I wrote a book called Overcoming Procrastination, and that was a hit. That really, it was an ebook. It was small, it was potent, but God gave me revelation as to why people procrastinate. And I began to send that out, and it launched. It did very well. But I wrote 4 books in 10 months. And next thing you know, my DMs was popping. It was like, well, how did you do this? How did you do this? I've been trying to write a book for about 3 years, or I've been thinking about writing a book, or I've been dreaming about it, or I can really see me doing that. How can I do this? What do I do? So I would just spend time emailing, DMing, even talking to people on the phone, just sharing with them wisdom, just sharing with them what to do and what steps to take and everything else. I really had not structured it in a place of a business. At that time as well, when I launched in April of early of that year, 2017, I called it Write It Out Publishing LLC. Now, it wasn't for me to actually start a business. It was just that I thought it was safer for me to house my literary works under an LLC, because I foresaw it growing, but I never imagined that I would be actually helping people publish, right? So I became the thing that I wanted. You know, how you'll always know that you will be successful in an area when you're regarding entrepreneurship is not only find the pain point, but find the gap that nobody is standing in. And what I realized is I wanted to be able to speak to an audience that had to do with they just started, they kind of really didn't know what to do. They were just like me. So I became the coach that I needed. I became the coach that I wanted, that I wish somebody would walk me through a process. So I became exactly that. And next thing you know, somebody said, you know what, can you consult me? Can you actually just publish the book for me? Like, you know, you ever been that? Because I am that. You know, I'm just like, you know what, I ain't even going to try to muscle through this, struggle through this, headache through this. Just do this for me. And I began to do that. So it was just me and a close friend of mine that did my book cover. And then we said, you know what, we're going to help this person. It started at 1 person, then 2, then 3, that people started telling people about everything else. Write Out Publishing, we don't even really advertise like that. We literally go by referral base. People literally told somebody that told somebody that told somebody. And several of our authors have come back to do repeat books and second projects and all those type of things. We have been graced, and we made the most money that we've made in the pandemic just by purpose. Now, the truth be told, publishing is very challenging. And I literally, if I'm I'm honest, try to close this business down at least 3 times since it's open because it's been so time consuming. But God has made it clear that he has stamped his approval and that this is God. This business belongs to the Lord. Now, this is important. And I felt led to share that with you because some of you may be kind of stuck saying, I'm not really sure what to do. I'm not really sure if this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm not really sure. You know what? This is a lot of work. I don't even want to plow this. I don't even want to ground this. I don't even want to build this up. And God is saying, I appreciate you, daughter. I appreciate you, son. But I said, this is what I've called you to do. This is the thing that's going to answer prayers later on the line. This is the thing that you petition. This is the thing that's going to grow you and to mature you into the stature that I've called you to be. This is the thing. So if God's hand is on that business, if God's hand is on that idea, if God said, build it, even though you can't see it, by faith, I say you move and do exactly what it is that he's called you to do, because he makes no mistakes. He is sovereign. He is all inclusive. He's already gone before you. He stands behind you. He'll fund you. He'll give it to you. If you are locked up, this is for somebody. Whew. If you are locked up in a place saying, I don't have the money, I don't even know how I'm going to fund this, I don't know how I'm going to build this. He said, I never really even asked you how you were going to do all that. I just asked you, are you available? And I just asked you, are you obedient? Are you going to do what I asked you? Say la. Are you going to do what I asked you? So I'm going to say I am a self-publishing company. The difference between self-published and traditional published, really the main thing has to do with your rights and your royalties. So technically, my team, which is now 15, 16 strong, I went from just being 2 of us to be a 2-man show. And now we are full-fledged companies, about 15, 16 of us. We're full of graphic designers, website designers, branding coaches, consultants, editors, full revisions, logistics, and everything else. We have grown massively to be able to fit the need, right, of the people and the demand, that's been pulled upon us and everything. I would say regarding I feel like God wants to shift me in something. God really wants to see about those of you that are watching this. It is important divine alignment. It is important that you are in the place that you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. It's important to be sensitive to everything around you. It's important to be sensitive to the things that have went wrong. It's important to be sensitive to not only your heart's desire, but the thing that God says. And I just sense so much discomfort in the thing that God says to do, especially moving forward. It is uncomfortable. Sometimes purpose is uncomfortable. Sometimes destiny getting there, the maneuvering that is uncomfortable, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I sense that some people had unanswered prayers, and it wasn't because that God was not listening. It's because you were not in the right position. God is really concerned about character with business owners. He's really concerned about character with leaders. It is important that you be a person of good character, that you be integral in everything that you touch. It is important. And now more so than ever, what did the pandemic do? It exposed the hand. Literally, you can see in people's hands. It exposed the heart of people. So I suggest that when you go into this year, and even these last 2 weeks of this year, that you lay things before God that you really want to be dealt with. And do not close your eyes, be willfully naive, and just kind of push past a thing, knowing that there's something there. Because those of us as an entrepreneurship, whether you still have your 9-to-5 and God has graced you with another stream of income, because that is needed in this day and age, regardless of what it is, every time you're giving of yourself, of your thoughts, your creativity, and your ideas, it is important that you come from a place of victory. And it is important that you come from a place of overcoming. That does not mean that you have arrived, because none of us have and none of us will. That does not mean that you are absent from trouble or circumstances, but it does mean that you are humble and you understand that you're in a process and you're allowing God to walk you through it. I'm going to try to finish my thought. Self-publishing and traditional publishing. So traditional publishing, right, is basically when that publishing company kind of vets your project. They determine whether they're going to even process your project or publish it at all. And they keep some rights and royalties to your published project. The pro of that is they back you fully 100% with marketing. When you do self-publishing, you have total creative control. You have all rights and royalties. And then you have to do the groundwork. You have to do the footwork. I always say, if you're an influencer and you're a leader, go ahead and write the book, even if it's a little ebook, because it shows that you're an expert in your industry. industry, right? When you started doing what you were doing, you had a purpose for it. When you started doing what you were doing, you had a reason for it, right? You begin to help people, you begin to process things out. So I think that's really important for you to just go ahead and kind of put yourself in that place. And how you start, I would say one of the first things to start is to do a how-to. How-to. Strategy is key. Strategy is key. How to walk people through the process. I'm going to give some writing tips. I'm going to give some writing tips for some new authors and even for some seasoned authors. It doesn't hurt, right? So some writing tips. I'm going to say the first thing, first and foremost, that I always hear about is writer's block. Writer's block. If we were in a classroom, I would say, raise your hand if you've experienced writer's block. It doesn't matter whether you're an author yet or you were just in school writing an essay. Writer's block. So we've all experienced writer's block, right? I think that sometimes it may be challenging to stay focused, depending upon what you got going on. And so here's the thing. There is 1,000 different remedies to do a thing, right? 1,000 different remedies. Here's what I'm going to tell you. It's nice and simple. It's nice and simple. Spiritually, I'm going to say, pray and ask God, why am I doing this again? I'm going to say that. Then practically, I'm going to say, whatever you finish just writing, paragraph, chapter, segment of writing, go back to the top of that and read it again, but do it the next day. If you feel like you have a blockage while you're writing, you feel like, or you just don't even feel like writing, because do you know that being that it's a creative thing, it has a lot to do with your emotions? Being that it's a creative thing, it has a lot to do with your emotions. So sometimes when people are in an emotional state of distress, or they're stressed, or they're overthinking and everything else, they literally have a hard time moving forward, and they kind of can experience a challenge with, I'm not really sure how to flow anymore, or the flow feels abrupt. So I would say go back and the next day, start fresh, kind of relax yourself. If you need to sit down, drink coffee, go out to a movie with a friend, do something to kind of decompress, go back to that thing again, start it from the last segment that you did complete, read it all the way through and allow it to flow. It's almost what I found it does, almost uncork you in a way, like unplug you. Okay. So I'm going to say that for writer's block. I'm going to say when you write the book, write like you're writing directly to the person. Just like me and you are having a conversation. It's just me and you at Starbucks right now. Tell me the story. Don't write like you're writing to the masses, and don't write like you're writing to a room full of people. Tell me the story. Speak directly to the person, okay? You write in first person, second person, third person. All of that will be key. Speak directly to the person that you're giving what you're giving to. Okay. You want to be honest. You want to be healed. I kind of just mentioned that. You want to make sure you speak from a place of victory. You don't want a doom and gloom book. Yes, Lord. You don't want a doom and gloom book. Sometimes that don't mean that's so, because see, sometimes God has used the book for a form of healing. And so when you dispense, right? Do you know that when you move to your next level, when you dispense out information, that it kind of prepares you for the next level? It kind of prepares you for the next level. So you'll dispense out and you'll share, you'll kind of give out and pour out of you. But it's important that you come from a place of you on solid ground. If you're still drowning, you still, then kind of work that through, because the book is an impartation. So you don't want to just, you don't want to do that. You don't want to give somebody something that's contaminated. Okay. Tell your story, share your journey, share in the way like you're sharing your journey. You got to be a really good storyteller, because when you're an author, you're automatic public speaker. Okay. So when you're writing, have fun writing. So the right side of your brain is creative and the left side of your brain is kind of more methodical and analytical. So while you're writing your manuscript, just free flow and write. It doesn't matter if you have errors and whatever else, just write. Because if you're trying to correct it while you're writing it, it's going to stifle your flow, because one side of your brain is doing something, the other side of your brain is doing something. Go ahead and fully just kind of vent it out, get it all out. Maybe the next day kind of, let, Grammarly hook you up and put some things in check. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have an editor, right? You're going to have somebody do editing and revision. The book is, and I found that books to be, I didn't realize the importance and potency of books. And I remember years ago, I was in the kitchen. The Holy Spirit really speaks to me in the kitchen often, right when I'm in front of the stove cooking, right? And so the Holy Spirit told me that there would be a day, far on later, there will be a day literally in the last days where Bibles would kind of be so scarce. And I said, well, God, I remember this day, and it almost kind of frightened me. It was like Bibles will be so scarce. And God said, but I have given you sons and daughters the ability to write strategy. So it was almost like in these manuscripts, in these books, there will be strategy on how to live for God. There will be strategies on how to overcome. There will be strategies that will allow people to be able to overcome and get from one place to the next, to get people unstuck, to have people live in purpose, to have people come into alignment with destiny. He said that the books were going to be important. It was almost like hidden gems in books is kind of how I saw the vision. And it was like, God's just right. Okay. Books are weapons of war in their arsenal. They're legacy builders. They're legacy builders, and they're faith builders to those who read it. Your book will touch land that you may never get to. Okay, so let me see here. So I'm kind of gearing to the end to kind of wrap up. So my other business is the Impact Consultancy for County Impacts LLC, and basically the Impact Consultancy does corporate consulting. So we do operations and project management and back-end organization and structure, because what is important is it's so important to do the best of what you can do in excellence and in honor. In excellence and in honor. So we talk about client management and retention and client focus, and we talk about how to sell without being salesy, because at the end of the day, am I really selling to you, or is this something that you need? You've identified that you need it, and now I'm going to assist you further in the journey. You see how that goes? So the Impact Consultancy, it does small corporate consulting. We even do human resources now, and we have some expansion of what we're doing to kind of put things in place. And it really helps the business owner that's just starting. A lot of what I do is for the beginning, for the people that's in the beginning stages. And even my prices are geared to that as well, to those that's in the beginning stages of building. Let's see here. So I'm kind of winding down. So let's see. I think 2022 is going to be very liberating. I always try to give a word of the Lord for the month, especially for the year. And I'm going to share that on my Facebook page. But 2022 is going to be exciting. It's going to be liberating, guys. What's really going to be important is collaboration. Okay. I mean, if I don't know nothing else, from September, the Lord said, build it out. Make sure you build. But what the Lord's been speaking to me the past month and a half and two is to be open for collaboration, be open for collective efforts. You cannot build it all by yourself. When we're talking about kingdom expansion, we're talking about, connecting. We're talking about friendships. We're talking about relationships. Now, I'm a New Yorker, right? I'm a Northerner, okay? And here's the thing. As much as I am social butterfly, as much as I'm, kind of like the life of the party and whatever else, whatever you want to think about it as much as that, and I clown around and everything else, believe it or not, I kind of had the posture of the no new friends posture. I kind of had like, this is my particular circle, and only this circle here I can trust. Only this circle here I can put my head down. Only this circle here that I can only move with. Only this circle can only know the vulnerable side of me. But I thank God for healing, right? Because why was I like that? Because I endured some trauma of some burnt relationships, some burnt friendships that made me like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, God, thank you so much for healing my mind and healing my heart, because I would reject relationships. I would always be cool. We could be acquaintances, we could be associates, but I would reject possible friendships that can be something so monumental in this time. And so this year, God has really just opened me up and allowed me to be more diverse in conversation, diverse in friend groups. Now I have so many different friend groups, associates, acquaintances. It's just been a blessing. It really, really has. And I say that to encourage you guys, because sometimes we have to, don't let nobody in, and keep the kind of, maintain this small circle, which I understand the intimacy and vulnerable circle. Yes, everybody should have, right? And you transparent always, but you don't let everybody into that vulnerable place. I totally understand that. I totally get that. But don't jip yourself out of an experience because you are afraid to do life with somebody else. Don't jip yourself out of experience because you are afraid to have a relationship. I'm telling you what I know. Go ahead and be open and meet people, because at the end of the day, people will you could be missing out on a really great friend. I'm telling you, I really walk this out, and I just really feel that somebody will need to hear that. Somebody will need to hear that. It's okay. Different friend groups, friends that love you. My pastor said something recently. You need faith friends, people to believe and to pray when you don't have it in you, right? To just kind of love you and believe in your vision as much as you believe in your vision. Pray through it and ask God, can I, trust this person, vet them out and everything else, adjust them as needed. Put them in the right place or whatever else as needed. But don't reject relationships, guys. Collaborations and collective, I say, especially when you're doing business partnerships. And what I do, I'm key on affiliate partnerships because I believe in a lot of networking, is they may not have the exact same vision. If they have a similar vision, maybe you can be affiliates. The exact same vision, pray about God doing a partnership. You can partner business to business, and just be open. Just be open for 2022 because that's going to be a really big deal. Okay. And I'm going to end with this. For entrepreneurs, business owners, creatives, right? Collaboration is key. There's going to be an expansion in the grace for creativity, so free flow. Build the thing that ain't nobody doing. Do the thing that ain't nobody doing yet. Don't be scared. For those of you that are in industries that quote unquote they say are saturated, don't let that stop you because there's somebody for everybody, right? There's somebody for everybody. And your personality may gravitate to somebody else, okay? I would say make sure that you work on your heart issues. Make sure that you're healed. I would say make sure that you have a business mindset. Go ahead and become an expert in your industry. Read, study, take classes, do whatever you need to do, but don't be kind of content in a mediocre place because nothing about kingdom is average or mediocre, okay? Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Enhance your skill set, but enjoy the journey. You can find me on all social media networks at Kiani B. Kiani B. Kiyanni B as in boy on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. It's been a blessing talking to you guys today. And Merry Christmas.
Well, my goodness. If that wasn't a jam-packed, that was amazing. So much was released, and I thank you for your obedience. I thank you for coming on, Kiani. She is my publisher for my book, and she was a great experience. Her company, everyone in her company, it was a great experience from beginning to end for my journey to becoming an author, a published author. So listen, if you are someone that is looking to become an author, if you're someone that is looking to redefine your purpose, check out her services. And you guys ask questions in the chat. All of us are here to answer the questions. All of us are streaming and viewing the chat as well to make sure we address any concerns you have during this live here. And again, thank you, Kiani, for coming on. This here is so good here. And I always say this, when it's something of purpose, the enemy really just attempts to amplify disrupting, and it's like he has literally tried to come for every last person that is presenting. But it looked like Mr. Josh had his fist up like he ready to battle with the devil. Like he was like, not today. But it looks like it's like every last one of us is having just some type of experience where the enemy is like, no, he doesn't want us to get this information out. But we are creatives, and we are people that yearns the heart to see people win and know that some people might be on the break, literally on the break of that next level pivot. And so it's very important. It's so important to us that y'all get what you need. And not saying we the only ones that have what you need, but we are a part of what we have to say, is a part of what could help very well take you to the next level in your pivot here. So we don't mind battling with the enemy if he comes for us, to make sure, okay, I see your comments. We're going to address that, Shatina. I see that. Y'all, please post your questions, your comments, your concerns, anything you want us to touch on in the chat here. But okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what y'all must have woke up now. Thank you, Jesus. Y'all woke, y'all tapping in now. So we really want to make sure you get what you need on today. We want to make sure y'all get everything you need today, and it's by any means necessary. No matter what comes our way, we are ready to make sure that this assignment is addressed in full capacity here, okay, you guys? And we're going to move forward. We did have to shift some things around because, like I said, the enemy, he's been busy. But nevertheless, we are moving forward here. So we're getting ready to bring up Mr. Innovative Twist himself. And if for y'all that don't know him, he is all things print, screen, promoting, business. He's just purpose all around. He is one of the individuals that creates a lot of my marketing tools. He is became a big brother to me in the entrepreneur world. And he has really been rocking and rolling with me for a while now in my journey here. So I'm just honored to have him be a part of this because he has been in the game for a very, very long time. And this is another thing. These individuals that are presented, they have been at this for a while, or they have had a accelerated, successful pivot without compromise. So they have the track record to back up what they're saying here. So, these individuals, when they're sharing their tools and their tips and their nuggets, is really coming from a place of they have just really gleaned and grown, and they have the longevity. And so they're wanting to share that to show you is ways to win, and you can still win with your integrity. You can still win with good character, and you can help others along the way. So at this time, we're getting ready to bring Mr. Innovative Twist himself on the stage, and he's going to share all of the great nuggets that he does a plethora of things here. Okay. When I say he does a plethora of things, he does a plethora of things here. So he's going to share that with you. So at this time, if we could bring Mr.
All
Innovative.
I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in.
What's up, everybody? Hold on. Larry, hold on a second. I'm about to go live. Stop, Larry. I don't even know who Larry is, guys. I was just messing with y'all. Listen, I am so glad to be here. I appreciate y'all. I had to be different. Everyone says I'm extra. It's branded for me, baby. This is what I do. I'm glad people have questions. I was like, I don't want to talk about me. I want to help y'all. Like, this is all about you guys. So for Miss Keisha, first for you, everyone wants to know how to start. You ready? It's this simple. I promise you. It is so simple. Just start. There's never a perfect time to start. The time to start is right now. Never is it going to be perfect. Never is it going to be the perfect timing. Never is it going to be the right moment. Your time to start is right now. I'll tell you this, right? Most people skip this part. You should have a name, right? I need to know what problem you solve, why you solve it. Kiana said it best, right? What she did was she created what she needed to be done, right? When she needs something and she couldn't find it, that's when you produce something because there's other people waiting for you to do the same thing. People are literally going through that same problem. So here's what I want to do, right? Branding is the most important thing. Yes, I'm a printer. Yes, I've done that for 17 years, but I came to realize that my customers who come see me never know who they're targeting, right? If you know who you're targeting, you save money and you make money, right? So I understand what my audience looks like. If I don't understand my audience, you're going to come spend money and you're going to hope you make money. If you know, is your audience male, female, they're 18, I can't talk to the same people. I can't talk to a male the same way I talk to a female. I can't talk to an 18-year-old the same way I talk to a 36-year-old. So I have to narrow it down, right? So what we do is I literally just ask you a bunch of questions to help you figure it out on your own, right? Understanding who you serve and what you're solving, right? Business is real simple. It's literally solving a problem. That's all business is about. And how are you going to do it different than your competitors, right? For me, start working on your experiences, right? What are the customer experiences that they can engage with, right? So from the time they call you to the time they're with you to the time they exit you, what is that experience like? Apple never sold you a phone. They sold you an experience. Nike never, ever, if you ever notice, Nike has never sold you a pair of shoes ever. Not in a commercial, not in the store, nothing. The athletes actually did it for them. They never sold you a pair of shoes because they know who they serve, they know why they do it, and they're solving a problem, right? So that was your one, and then focus, right? So focus has been hard for me. I've been doing it 17 years, and I'm just mastering focus, right? I've learned to mini goals, right? Today, I'm going to accomplish this. This is all I need to accomplish today to get me to my bigger goal. You know, most people don't have plans. I need to have a plan. I want to, what is my end goal? Whether it's I want to make 100,000, whether it's I want to be a doctor, whether it's whatever the goal is, I want you to start backwards from the end goal all the ways down. Okay, I want to make 100,000. What does that mean? How much do I got to make a month? Oh, I got to pull out my calculator, right? So if I want to make 100, that means I got to make 8,333 a month. Man, that's still a lot, right? But if I break it down weekly, now I only got to make $2,083 a week. But then I got to break it down because that still sounds a lot, right? $70 a day will make me 100,000 a year. How hard is that going to be? That's not going to be hard. You can do that. I promise. When you break it down to the smaller numbers, it makes it a lot easier to be able to do what you do. Another problem businesses have is they really don't know their true numbers, right? So let's just say, hypothetically, your rent is $2,675, right? So that means my rent's $90 a day. $90 a day. I got to make at least $90 a day just to pay my rent, right? But now I got an employee, and my employee's $15 an hour. So they work 8 hours. Now that's $120 a day. So now I really got to make $215 a day. Okay, got it, right? And I sell t-shirts, right? I sell them for $25. You would think if I sold, this is how people think, ready? They sell, they know that they have to make, let me see, they're selling the shirts for $25, right? So you would think, okay, I had to sell 203 shirts to be able to pay my employee and pay my rent for the month, but never figured in the cost of the shirts too. So really, I had to sell 254 shirts just to break even because I had to account for the cost of the shirt. Knowing your numbers helps you. Most people skip that step too, right? So for me, it's have a plan. Everything that we got to do is have a plan. That's it. If we have a plan, we know where we're going. Without a plan, we're just going blind. And that's not the way business works. So me, I'm super extra, you know, I'm only guy on the call today. And I had to do my own backdrop. But guess what? Look, Randy. Oh, that side. That's me. Right there. Hey, how do I do it? Right? That guy. That's me, right? Everything I do always has my brand on it. When I walk down the street, people know my brand. No matter what it is, branding is so important that they get to know you without even knowing you. You're the guy that does printing. That's how things work around here. Make sure everything that you do is aligns with your brand. There's going to be partnerships that don't align with your brand. Just because they have $1 million doesn't mean that they're the right partner for you. Just because your mission statements don't align, they're not the right people. Your core values don't align, they're not the right people. One of the things we're doing now, like Innovate Twist is my baby. I've been doing it 17 years. My new thing is our nonprofit, right? We're launching 2/22/22, and it's called Kids in Biz, right? And we're going to teach kids how to start their own company, right? It's a 12-month program. Kids 8 to 18. We teach them. We have a podcast studio, photography studio, meditation room, a board room, all that stuff, right? These kids are never exposed to the things of today, right? Is different. Three things that we'll always talk about kids in biz is we save lives, right? Because in this world of entrepreneurship, we're allowed to be different. We want you to be different. So bullying is all about being different. So today, because they're trying to conform to today's world, they get bullied in school and in life everywhere. Well, now we create a community where they actually can come and really learn and be themselves, right? The second thing, breaking generational curses, right? We always tell our kids, go to college, get a degree, take care of your family, make good money, right? But I believe we're doing that wrong because most people go to college, don't even use their degree, work 2 to 3 jobs, and they don't even get to spend time with their family anyways. Instead of treating it as a business. Everything in life is really treated like a business, right? So now my philosophy for college is if you want to be a lawyer, right, and you're for the wrong reason. If you're doing it for money, the next person who's doing it because they're passionate is going to outrun you, right? You're not going to last forever because that's just greed. So when I asked my daughter, I'm like, hey, what do you want to be when you graduate? She's like, a lawyer. I'm like, why? They make a lot of money. I'm like, no, wrong answer, right? Now, if you would have came to me and said, hey, I was watching the news, Dad. I'm tired of seeing all these innocent people go to jail. What can I do? How can I help? Oh, well, now you got to be a lawyer, right? Now you have steps to get there. Now you're doing it because you're passionate. And guess what? When you do something because you're passionate, the money chases you. You're not chasing money, right? So that's the second thing. The third thing we do is impact the world. I'm teaching kids how to give back, whatever the cause is. If you grew up in a abusive house and you want to help other kids, then that's the cause that we give back to. Everything that we do is to highlight and showcase our community, right? So with Kids in Biz, it was, for me, I got to see the confidence that it built in kids when we did a fashion show. My son's an event host since he's 8, kills it, amazing. We created that. It was so powerful that we were like, oh, all kids. We want to do this with all kids, So that's our new baby, and you'll see when it comes to that, the brandings will be so on point. The biggest thing, the takeaway I want you guys to have is there's never a perfect time to start anything, so you got to start right now, right? Figure out the problem that you want to solve and make sure you're doing it different than everybody else. Because if you're just like everybody else, I don't even want you to, most people try to copy a successful business, right? Because they think that that's the way to go. They have the budget. You don't have the budget, right? I don't want you to copy the business, but copy the habits, right? If you can copy their successful habits, then you'll be wait, save 100,000 a year or whatever the case is, right? What else should I say? I don't know. I want questions. I want to engage with you guys. Like, who has a question? Give me some questions. Let me look at the chat. Questions? Anybody got questions? Even speakers. Any speakers got questions? Nobody? Guys. Listen, my job isn't to sell my products, my services. I'm literally here to help you guys. 17 years, no one ever helped me. Right? Self-taught. I didn't have the mentors and all that stuff. When people come into my office now, this is what I do. I just everything that I learned. Right? You want to know a good one? Here's a good one. Ready? Most people want to start a business because they're tired of their boss. Right? You want to fire your boss. But did you understand that you're giving up one boss for 100 bosses? Because every single one of your customers is now your new boss. And they're telling you what to do. So, okay, someone asked about starting a nonprofit. Listen, ready? I don't know how to do it. I paid someone to do it. What do you want me to do? But okay, and there's a lesson in this. So I had someone set up my stuff and I didn't know the process. And when I don't know the process, I don't have control. So, you get a letter, you get your taxes exempt, cool. 3 years go down, but like we just started operating with our nonprofit, but we had it since 2013 or somewhere around there. But we weren't doing anything with it. Well, you still got to file a tax form saying you didn't make no money, whatever. Well, I believe my accountant was doing that. She says she did, but then I get a letter saying my tax exempt status was revoked. I'm like, okay, what's this mean? Like, what? How does that happen? I didn't know, right? So now I deal with the IRS. I finally got reinstated November 23rd, 21st, right? And from that day forward, when I was on the phone with the IRS lady, I'm like, listen, tell me exactly what I need to learn so that this never happens again. And they sent me all the free resources that are on their website, right? So the lesson was stop allowing everybody else do for you without knowing what they're doing. This is taxes. This is everything. I've been in business a long time, right? Even in the tax side, I don't know. I literally just pay you to do it. And it got in trouble. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I can't happen to me. So now I'm the type of person, I need to know every part. You know, I don't need to do it. I need to be able to know it and oversee what they're doing to make sure they're doing it the right way, because they control my life, right? My business literally could have shut down because of the mistakes that they did. So now I can, like you said, I can hold them accountable because I'm not worrying about that no more. Now I can see, okay, I need to have this tax form done by then, right? So I never had to really set up my nonprofit. I literally paid someone to do it. But I do have a checklist because I'm part of a group. So I can actually, if you, Jeanna, if you put my email up there, they can email me and I'll go ahead and send out the checklist on how to set it up, right? I'm an open book. Once I learn something, I want to teach you, right? Like for those who have office buildings, let me tell you this one, ready? My office literally flooded and my insurance didn't cover it. I lost like $10,000 worth of stuff because I didn't have backup insurance, sewage backup insurance. I called and said I need business insurance. You would think that's included. It wasn't. So now anybody who has an office, I'm like, make sure in your insurance thing, you have backup insurance, sewage backup, right? And at home. It was literally $100 difference for the year. And I lost $10,000 worth of stuff because my insurance wasn't covered. Lesson learned. Now we tell people so that they don't ever have to go through that. I believe everything in life is so we can preach and teach to others, whether it's bad, good, or ugly. We were meant to go through it because there's other people that I'm supposed to help bring along my journey to get them past that point. I'm the only one that can do it. And that's going to be the same for you. There's never a perfect time to start. But the longer you take to start, those people behind you that are waiting on you are getting even further behind and lost. I need you to start today, right? There's so many resources out there. You can hit me up. I'll tell you anything that I know. Anyone on the panel, hit them up, ask questions. There's never a stupid question, right? It doesn't matter how small or how big you think that question is. Ask it anyways, because you don't know the answer. Once you know the answer, now you can help somebody else who's going to have that same question. Most people are like, oh, that's a dumb question. I'm not going to ask that millionaire that question. Why? Ask the question. You don't know the answer. Why go through all that headache and try to figure out the answer when it's literally right there? They're doing what you want. They have the answer. Ask us whatever you want. That's why we're here today. I'm on vacation. I'm not even at my house, office, nothing. I'm literally sitting in the cabin, right? I'm ready to go play volleyball because it's nice outside. Like, that's what I'm about to do. But that's it. Does anyone else have questions for me? I need some questions, man. If no one else has questions, I'm done, man. I'm done.
Awesome.
Can we play my song again? Oh, I got it. Hold on.
Okay. Josh, thank you.
No matter what, got money on my mind, I can never get enough. Every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay down. All I do is win.
All we do is win.
Listen, I just want everybody to win. That's it.
That's
I
it.
want everybody to win. My job, I'm a printer that doesn't even care about printing anymore. I literally care about the success of your business. If you succeed, I succeed. I don't care. I had to do this by myself. I know the journey is hard. You know how much, listen, entrepreneurship is literally tiring, scary. There's so many times, there ain't no one that can say, I'm ready to give up. No one. I'm ready. I was ready to walk Walmart multiple times, you know? And then one last thing, because this happened this year, was you get tired. I've been hustling 17 years. I've been doing this 17 years. I got tired, right? I had to literally, I've never, ever, ever shut down my business. Not even when I lost my mother at 21. I'm at literally my mother's funeral, responding to emails and texts from customers. But this year I was like, you know what? I can't. I need a break. I literally shut down for a week. Me and my wife went away. I refocused, refreshed, and I was ready. And now, once a month, I'm gone for the weekend so that I can do it again. This is tiring stuff. But if you have a community that'll hold you accountable and keep pushing you, you're good. Like all these people up here, like I'm talking to Kiana at 4 o'clock in the morning because I'm you see, I did a video. Like I had to do my intro. I did my backdrop at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was designing their other stuff. I'm like, this is what I like doing. I love being extra. I promise you, you'll remember who I am because of what I did today. Like my intro was pretty dope. I'm just saying.
Thank you so much, Josh. That was amazing. I hope y'all really took these nuggets and even him sharing his experience, because I remember when that flood happened to his office, he lost, like you said, $10,000 in equipment.
Listen, and I didn't cry. Right? Everybody's like, how are you so happy? Listen, I did a post and I was like, look, guys, I finally got that indoor pool I always wanted. You know, like, why stress the negative things in life when all I'm gonna do is look at the positive things, right?
That's
yeah, I lost $10,000 of stuff, but my landlord in my office the way I wanted and paid for it. So it was a blessing in disguise for me. So I don't ever look at the negative things that happen to me as a negative. I'm always looking for the positive stuff. Like, and I thank God for that, right? I literally was gonna do a video with little swimmies, you know, the little thing around here, the little ducky thing, walking into my office to joke about it. Like, you gotta just laugh about the situations. You just can't harp on that stuff. It doesn't do anything for you.
That's right. That's right. And the thing about it, you know, you bounce back from it. You know, your business still thriving, and your office does look pretty dope on the inside. If y'all ever get a chance to go check out his office, it looks amazing on the inside. And any kid that comes into his program, just the ambiance of that space is gonna ignite any youth entrepreneur, inspiring entrepreneur. It's going to really ignite them to really become more creative in what they're trying to discover within themselves. So make sure you check Josh out, Innovative Twist. Check him out for all of his services, all things Mr. Innovative Twist. We're going to keep moving forward here. We're going to bring on at this time, we're going to talk a little bit about, I think Kiani had some books about, had some questions about books was given to Kiani. So we're going to let Kiani touch on that a little bit more on stage regarding those that are aspiring to become an author, those that are having those hard stops, that are getting stuck, that, you know, really feel like this is their time to move forward to become a published author. So she's going to touch on that. Then after that, because right now what we're doing, guys, we're doing Q&A. So we're covering questions. Then we're going to bring Ayana and Sasha on to cover taxes and insurance, because we saw some questions about that as well. So we're going to bring them on. But right now, Kiani is going to talk a little bit about that. And I will come back on and cover the nonprofit arena, because I saw questions about that, and I'm going to cover some of those questions for those individuals that are inquiring about that as well.
I didn't get the questions.
Okay, so the question here, and let me scroll back through here because someone was looking to, and you may have touched on it, but okay, here, I think it was,
Keisha.
here we go. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So Keisha, I did respond to her. She responded again, and I would say, Keisha, if you're still there, because she was saying that she lost the book, that she kind of, because she put it down, kind of lost interest in it, but ready to pick it back up again. I would say one, if you have Google Drive or if you have a Gmail, use your Google Drive to write your manuscript so that way you don't lose it. I've heard several people say that they actually lost their manuscript. So they probably put a Microsoft Word document in or wrote it by hand. I would say don't. I would say to use Google Drive Docs. Use the documents there. Some type of online storage so you can just continue on, right? So I would also say too, if you have, because I believe too, she was talking about a ghostwriter. I would say that when you open the Google Docs, right? I don't know what kind of phone you have, but if you download the Google Docs app on your phone, right? Use the speaker button and talk into the phone. That may help because sometimes when people are writing, they'll get kind of caught up with the fact that, oh, I'm writing this instead of speaking it out. If you have a ghostwriter, you still have to give the prominent points of the manuscript. You're still going to have to kind of list out the chapters. You're still going to have to give the subtopics and topics. So if that may kind of help that flow come out, a book developer and a ghostwriter can kind of come in and fill in the spaces, but the meat and the skeleton and the framework of that book, you still will have to do regardless if you have a ghostwriter or not. There are services where you can kind of talk the book out and somebody can literally write it out for you. To be completely honest, that is going to be kind of a investment. If you do that like that, that is going to be a pretty good investment. Also too, you said something key. If you kind of lost interest in it and it's been some time, I don't know what the time frame was, is that something you still want to talk about today? Not to say that you shouldn't write the book, but just want to know maybe you would change the main point of what you're talking about now. You may have evolved, you may have grown, you may have been in a different place, so you may not want to talk about that necessarily now. You definitely want to have a passion in the thing that you're writing, and you also remembering that you're giving somebody something. You're giving somebody something. So you experience something and now you're going to give somebody something so they have a takeaway. When we're offering a service, just like we're writing a book, they should take something from you. When they leave you, they should be like, I got this from Keisha James. I got this from her. So that's how it is. It's not just about us sharing, but it's about making sure that we have a really good takeaway, because remember, the books are impartation as well.
Okay, here. That is good. Thank you so much, Kiani. And if anyone else has questions further regarding becoming an author or the journey or in the smack of working on a project, just please put it in the chat and we will make sure we address it. This time I would like to bring Ayana and back on, and Sasha, to talk a little bit about tax and insurance, because I saw some questions about that. Okay, so Sasha. Awesome. I'm gonna come on.
Ayana, you could go ahead.
But what were the questions?
So it wasn't really a question, but Josh had touched on the tax side of things, and wanting to learn how to do it, not to do it himself, but understand how it's done, so he'll know what the people are supposed to do for him. And I thought that would be a good thing to kind of touch on as throwing it out there as part of a Q&A, because I know that you're a financial person, and I am a tax professional. I moonlight as a tax professional as well. So I thought it would be really good for us to tag team so people can understand, the tax parameters of things for the business. So if you want to go and start with the tax-free, and then I could follow up with the protocols and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the way it really, I think I'm echoing a little bit. Okay. Am I echoing on your side?
You sound good.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what I was looking at with when you talk about the tax-free side, we're talking about looking at that through the life insurance because whether you know it or not, the benefits that are given for life insurance, just in case someone passes away, is given to the beneficiaries tax free. But the thing is, even in that, you can build your money in tax-free strategies of life insurance because there are types of life insurances that do that and allow people, if you place enough money away, just when you think about, let's look at it like this. In the tax-free column, there would be your things that are familiar. You probably heard 401k, 403b, TSP, and then your traditional Roth IRAs. Those things are in the taxable categories, meaning that you put the money in and there's no taxes taken out your check if you're a W-2 person. But when you get ready to get the money out at, age 59 and a half and all that, then it is taxed at today's tax bracket. So if you put money away, say in 1980, and now you want to retire in 2000, I'm gonna say 2020. It's a long time, right? To be working. Then that money is going to be taxed on today's tax bracket. So if it was 20% when you put it in, and it's 50% now, which that looks like probably Sasha can back me up. The tax bracket is kind of going up to that. And it did during the Reaganomics era. It was at 50%. We didn't realize it. I was a little girl then. But it basically meant whatever we made on paper, we brought home 30-40% less because the taxes were taken out on that front end. So that's how it is when you get those tax strategies with your 401ks, 403bs, and all that. And that's why I said earlier, there's nothing wrong with it because you need to save money somewhere. But if you can go over to the tax advantage side where you're looking at your Roth IRAs, you're looking at the tax advantages that you glean through the life insurance, which is the 70-022 plan, the 7702 plan, then that is where you are able to put your money in. It can grow for you. And when the money comes out, it's tax free to you. So all the money and the gains are your true gains, not getting distracted with the taxes. Because two things we can't run away from are taxes and inflation. And I always say we're all cousins because we all have to talk to Uncle Sam.
And Ayana, I like the point that you brought out about using those plans to save money and build money, because a lot of times, if you have life insurance and you have those capabilities and you listen to Ayana and put in there that money and let it grow over time, or if you have already done it, a lot of times people don't have that start of money for their business and they're looking for loans or want to build credit. And a lot of times it's hard to build business credit when you're first starting out. So that is a good way of building that jackpot, a good way, especially dependent if you have a product, something that does take money to really launch. Some businesses you can launch just by setting it up and spend a couple of $100 and you're fine and you go rolling with it. But some of them do take money to get it started. So that is a good way of doing that. That is really good. So whoever has life insurance already, talk to your agent and see, if you have that and you can start putting into it and then you can glean from it at a later time. Did you have anything else to add?
No, that's it, because what you touched on is basically will allow you to become your own bank. And when you front load these strategies enough, it will start growing. And it is a long term. Like you said, a key thing is long term, but it is there when you need it. I will interject this story. Had a friend that does nails, and she had this type of policy that was building money for her. And when the shutdown came during the first era of the pandemic, she and her family were able to get money from their policies to live because she couldn't work.
Oh, wow. That's good. It's always good to have, what did it say? Some oil in the pot. You got to have your pots of oil all the way around. I totally believe in that. So I just want to kind of touch on some of the tax side of things. Because a lot of times, a lot of businesses will, they know what to file, but then don't know what to file. And if you're starting out and, You know, it's like, okay, but can I do this and can I do that? So I am a tax professional as well as a business owner. And I've been doing taxes for years. And I started doing some more with, I did on the personal side and did it for a few clients and all, but then also I have worked with Liberty Tax Services, you know, as well. And so one of the things I would like to say is, of course, everybody know you can file your Schedule C. For your business owners, I would definitely say get an EIN number if you don't already have one, because a lot of businesses or a lot of first-time entrepreneurs will use their Social Security number. You know, get that EIN number off the IRS website. It's free. Go ahead and get that. Use that on your taxes. The Schedule C is a part of your 1040, your personal taxes, so that's all, you know, lumped in one. However, the good thing about the Schedule C being a part of your personal taxes is if you have a business and you're keeping good records of your expenses and your income, you have to have that profit and loss statement. And especially if you're starting out, a lot of times your expenses is going to be higher than your income. And then when you put that onto your Schedule C, you're going to take a loss on your business, but that loss helps to reduce your taxable income on the personal side. So if you're working and you have your total income that comes in, so it does kind of benefit you in a way. You know, you do have a self-employment tax as well that comes with that. So those are the things to really look at. Now, when you go into more of a bigger structure, like LLCs, so sole proprietors can file Schedule C. Now, when you go into a bigger structure like S Corp filing and filing as a C Corp, then you move on to a different structure. You still have to pay, you still have to file your 1040, but then you move on to filing an 1120S for those. Even if you're in a partnership, you have the 1120 that you have to file. So the information that's on that, even if it is a loss or you're carrying over money, will be added on to your 1040, and then that's how it balances out. One of the things that I do want to say that, you know, our current president did pass this law not too long ago. They are looking at all businesses. It's not, you know, in the past you always hear about, oh, it's, you know, they're going after the big corporations. Nah, they're messing with a lot of the small people now. And I think the whole PPP thing really opened up the door for a lot of things, because people were really going in and applying for this free money. Well, actually, it was a loan, but you can write it off. I mean, they would write it off for you if you know, fell within the guidelines. But there are a lot of businesses or people who acted as if they had a business, who filed for those opportunities. And then also those who had businesses probably exaggerated what they actually had and don't have the records to support it. So there's been a lot of slack on that, but they're coming down hard. So I would just say anything that you're doing, make sure you have your T's crossed and your I's dotted. Make sure you have all of your expenses. If you have never used Excel or a bookkeeping service or anything, and you could use your own, you could do your own, you could use Waves, you could use QuickBooks, those are free services, to kind of, you know, keep a track or log of your expenses. When you go to your tax professional, go prepared. I can't say that enough, because I've seen people come in the office with boxes of receipts and they don't have their things together, and they'll always work with them. But always have your things together, you know, all your expenses, all your income, everything. Don't try to hide anything. Be real about what you have, because they are, the IRS, the government, they are looking at these things. For business filers, the deadline is March 15th. They are making sure to enforce the fee, the late fee, which is $210 per sole proprietor. And if you have a partnership, it's $210 per partner. That adds up. If you're late paying it, it's $210 each month. So you want to make sure you do that. They're cracking down on a lot of things. They never enforced that late fee before, but now they're enforcing it. So just make sure you have everything. But your deductions, there's a lot of things that you could deduct for your business. Make sure you research. If you're starting out a business, go ahead and research. Put in tax breaks for walking dogs, whatever you have. There are a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of things you can claim. make sure that when you do go and have your taxes filed, it's always good to have a professional, tax professional that understand business, because they can foresee some of these things. But hey, have you thought about, claiming this? Have you did this? They can help you reduce that and make sure that you're doing everything you need to have done right. I'll be going into my segment later, but and I have my contact information. So if anybody needs to contact me, and want to answer more questions, you could do that. Or if you have more questions here, put it in the chat. But I just want to touch on those things because it is good. Josh made a good point. Every business owner should know how it's done, to know the basis behind everything, because there have been a lot of businesses who have been messed over by people who did not know how to file taxes. Some people will go to their cousin, or I know somebody that can help you, or even some of the tax professionals in the franchises. Sometimes they're just there to file your taxes. They won't ask any questions. They'll take what you have and they'll file it. Next thing you know, you're getting a letter. So that doesn't happen with me, but because I make sure you're covered in every angle and you do things properly. But yeah, you really should know how it's done. What goes on behind the scenes about it. I'll give one example. There was one person that I was referred to, and ended up doing her taxes. I helped her with her taxes, but her nephew had an issue. And so she was like, look, I need you to help me. So what it was, that he had partnered with somebody with the trucking company or something. And that's another thing. Watch who you partner with, because they have to make sure they're bringing their side to the table as well. When you file taxes, y'all have to file that 1120 together, but they got to make sure they're bringing that stuff to the table as well. But what happened was the person, end up getting the person that the person partnered with did not do what they needed to do in filing. So when they did file, it was just a lot of the weight came on the nephew. So we had to go and clear up a lot of stuff because he ended up selling the company to that person and all this other stuff, but that person never reported it. And it's the way they did it, it kind of backlashed on the partner. So you want to make sure that anything you get into, you have your structures, set up to where you are protected. I didn't see if anybody had any questions directly in the chat, but I just definitely wanted to kind of, bring that up as far as taxes, since Josh had brought it up. But if don't nobody else have it, Regina, where you at? I'll bring you back up, and we can go ahead and move forward. And is she here? There you are. Oh, okay. Well, we're all done with our part.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to move right into what I'm going to talk about. All right, you guys. So I'm going to talk about wellness in business. As you know, I am a wellness coach, and right now, because of the experience that I have had over time with my body, and this can benefit not just someone in business, but if it's someone that you work, if it's someone that a person that has working in their purpose, if it's someone that has an organization, a ministry, wellness in business is very important, especially going into 2022, because you want to have good health. You want to be well in your mind, body, soul, and in your purpose. So you want to be well in all four of those areas, especially when you have, many of us have several roles here. Okay. We have several roles because of us being creatives. A lot of us, like myself, I'm a nurse and I still work full time, but I am a business owner as well. And I run a nonprofit organization. So my health and my wellness is number one for me to be able to master all of these areas successfully. Now, and I'm going to tell you something, I discovered hurdles because it always led back to wellness. And wellness is a broad area to cover. So wellness, people think about working out, being fit, and all of that. But sometimes we got to be well in our mind, as well physically. Because if your mind is not well, how can you think with clarity? How can you really plan out your day? How can you really master that task if you're not operating in full wellness? So again, and you know, I'm a girl from the country, so I like to eat. I grew up eating. I grew up, and another thing, a lot of times our culture. So we grew up. Whatever we ate for dinner, you always got bread with your meal. Every meal, we got bread with our meal. We got some type of bread, roll, biscuit, sliced bread. We got bread with our meal. And I know y'all like, what this got to do with business? Well, it has everything to do with business. Why? Because you got to make sure that you're taking in what you're taking in is going to help you be productive in your day. And some people that may have watched my lives over the past few months here may have heard me touch on this. Wellness, I had to figure out what was good for my body and what wasn't good for my body. Food wise, spiritually, and mentally, I had to figure out what was healthy for me and my wellness. And I had to do an inventory and an evaluation of how I responded and how productive my day was with what I took in. Okay, here. So when you are getting ready to really get a handle on going into your 2022, again, I say many of us should already be operating and experiencing our 2022 now. But when you really get a handle on that, you want to really make sure you take inventory and evaluation of everything of your day. You want to make sure that you look at the productivity of your day. You want to take analytics. Analytics is not just about how a TV show, when, or how much products you sold off of your website. Analytics, you've got to take inventory of your day and see, was this day really productive? Did I master everything that I was supposed to be mastering? Okay, what did I eat today and how did my body respond? And what did I accomplish throughout that day with what I took into my body? I notice now that certain foods, certain experiences, certain circumstances affect severely how my day goes. And when I look at what I have accomplished, then I have to go back to the drawing board. Sometimes we have to go back to the drawing board as business owners and as creatives and as people of purpose. And we have to look at, how did this benefit? Was this a benefit to my day? Everything that I've done throughout the course of the day, from waking up, getting out of bed, was this a benefit to my day? Something that something I'm gonna say that one of my leaders had said the week before last, my apostle, certain things he does not entertain if it's not going to benefit him. And I remember, oh Lord, don't get me apostle. And his phone was ringing. He was like, well, this ain't money. I'm not going to answer this right now. And sometimes we got to ignore things that's not going to serve us purpose. And that is a component, and that ties into your wellness. Is this going to serve your purpose? And he said, well, if this is not money, I'm not answering this right now. And I was like, I know that's right. So we got to be balanced, and we got to know what may very well be a hindrance to the productivity of our day. So some of the things that I jotted down here, I put balance, preparation, team. Also, this is something that Kiani touched on earlier: heal to build. Heal to build. So I'm talking about I'm talking about the wellness component of being a business owner and being a creative and being someone of purpose. Heal to build. Sometimes our hindrance in our building, our purpose, our building in the area that we're supposed to be operating in, are our purpose, our businesses, whatever it is, authorship, partnership, collaborations, contracts, things of that nature. sometimes we are certain areas we haven't healed in, and that is a hindrance because it kind of causes us to be stuck. And it's I'm glad that I'm able to see that we was kind of all of us was kind of tuned in or tapped into certain areas. We have to heal to build. We have to heal to build. And one thing that I said that I want to always talk about the pros and the cons. So I want to talk about the benefits and the greatness of going into your next, but we want to talk about, is there something underlying that's hindering you from really mastering that win in the capacity that you know that you can, and you know that God has predestined for you to master that win. So I wrote that down. Be diverse. Be diverse. Be diverse and move into your next. You got to be diverse and move into your next. One of the things that I am learning, and another thing I didn't write it down, but being disciplined. Being disciplined. All of the things that everyone has presented so far. Learning from certain experiences, so you don't have to experience again. Learn it from someone else when they share their story, or they share their journey, or they share something that they have found that if they had maybe went a different way. Learn from that. Learn from that. You can learn from other individuals' experiences, because I'm listening to all of the things, like when Josh was talking about his building getting flooded, and it was a certain insurance policy he did not have in place. That's another thing. Business owners, please go and take the time to get insurance on your businesses. Not if you got businesses, more than one, you should have a policy for each one. And I'm not an insurance agent or anything like that, but I'm just telling you now that is so important. And it's a lot of businesses, because it's easy to get the LLC, it's easy to get the corporation status for your nonprofit, but we need to have these other things in place as well. We cannot go into 2022 with the same flow. We're going into a new way. We're going into a new way. We're going into a new structured way. So you want to make sure that you have business insurance. I don't know who's going to hear this, catch the replay, but if you don't have business insurance, that's something that you might have to just not get a crab boil that week, or you might have to skip something. But it's not expensive. If you want to know someone, a company that won't eat your pockets, it's obtainable. That is just as important as your car insurance and your house insurance, your renter's insurance. Business insurance is something that you should have. If you got your LLC, you got your EIN, you got your business license, because this is stuff that we just want to really recap on, because a lot of these things, we hear it and we let it okay, thank you so much. And we have someone that can we have business insurance referrals if someone is needing business insurance. And listen, don't be ashamed to say, you know what, I've been flowing all this time and I didn't have this in place, I ain't had that in place. Let me be transparent, because that seems to help people, because I want you to understand that a lot of us didn't have it all together. Some of us are still growing and learning. For the first couple of years, I didn't have business insurance. I didn't have it. And as I started to grow and as I started to pivot, and I wanted to start really doing business and really want to do partnerships and getting retained for certain contracting positions and things like that. It was certain things that people were asking for, certain things these companies were asking for. When you get ready to do events, when you're trying to get into a space, it was certain things they were starting to ask for. And that's what made me make sure that I had all of my affairs in order as a business owner. And one of the main things as you start to move forward and you grow, you are not going to be able to really pivot into those big deals or those when, and we might be pitch ready, but when they hear the pitch and they're like, come on, I want to go ahead and set up a contract. I want to go ahead and move forward with doing business to you. And then they start asking for these components and we don't have them. That's going to that will turn a major deal away, so we want to make sure we have all of those affairs in order. We want to make sure we have all of the things that's going to help us really be successful as business owners. And we want to make sure we are in a place that if we do, a circumstance do come up, that it won't set us back to the point that we fold. A lot of businesses, unfortunately, had to fold during the pandemic, but a lot of businesses pivot and a lot of businesses emerge. But moving forward, my mindset is the long term. What am I going to look like 5 to 10 years from now? That is what's important to me. What will the business look like if I was to pass away? What would the business look? Will I have the business set up that I could pass it on and its success past me, or I can successfully pass this business or my nonprofit on? Those are the things that I'm thinking about now. I don't move past the point of, oh, I got an LLC, I got an EIN, I got a cute logo. We move past all of that, and we want to make sure that we're structured. So we want to be well, but we want to make sure we're structured as, in business also. It's a lot of companies, it's a lot of individuals that can help you get to that place. Another thing like you said, someone mentioned, we got to be able to trust. You use your discernment. You ask one of the things, and anyone that's watching this, I don't know if you're a believer, but I talk about God. God is who directs me in everything that I do. I dare not compromise who I am to to make anyone feel good or anything like that. Your belief is your belief and mine is mine, but I know that it's important to pray. Pray about who you should be doing business with. Wait for the answer. Don't go answer yourself. Okay? Pray and wait for the answer when you are ready to move forward and do business or move forward to another level, so you can really avoid unnecessary hurdles. Now, some hurdles and some experiences is going to happen, but if you're balanced in your wellness, it won't overtake you to the point that you will have a setback and you cannot, get back up from whatever hard stop you may experience. So eating well, I know we don't like to hear that, eating well is very important. You got a high-end day. You can't take in a bunch of sugary stuff if you got meat after meat and after meat and after meat. It might seem to work for a little while. It might seem like it's working. But after a while, your body is going to start to reject it. So you want to make sure that what you're taking in is going to help you be able to really soar and be able to master every task within your day. So productivity. One of the things that I was noticing that I was getting a lot accomplished. Okay, but I wasn't being productive to the capacity that God was showing me I could be. And this is even recently. I wasn't being productive to the capacity that God said I could be. And that comes from self-evaluation. That comes from me looking at, am I still doing certain habits that is not going to be beneficial to my wellness? That's certain things I had to look at, because moving into 2022 and all that is happening and all that I'm experiencing, and this is to help someone moving into my 2022, I have no room. We have no room. You have no room for anything to get in the way, to sneak in, to cause you to slowly the window and you not know you're doing it in your business, in your health, in your purpose. Okay? So these are the things that I look at now, and I tell everyone I'm your unorthodox wellness coach. My approach is so severely different. My thought process is different. I'm just different. Do you remember, y'all remember that song? I'm different. Yes, I'm different. That's me. That's me. So I look at things differently because of who God has created me to be. My thought process is much different. Now, one time I had an unbalanced thought process. See, I told you I'm going to be transparent because I want to help someone, because sometimes people are experiencing this stuff. And if they don't never hear somebody that is out there making moves, say, this is what I experienced, this is what I go through sometimes. If they don't never hear someone say and admit and be transparent about it, they will not be comfortable enough to say, you know what, I've been dealing with this too. And she said that she experienced that and she was able to, do something about it. She was able to overcome it. So I had an unhealthy thought process. I am a overthinker, and I had to get balance in that area to know when it's a time to critical think and when it's a time not to. That's very important as a business owner. We can make some very horrible decisions in business and in our purpose if we are having a disrupt format of thinking. And that is part of your wellness. So if you're having a disrupted format of thinking, you may very well make a very horrible decision in your business. So you want to make sure that if that's something that you're experiencing, deal with it. First, acknowledge it and deal with it so you won't trickle into 2022 making decisions that's going to hinder you in the long run. So that's something I had to address within myself. I had to address that. I had to recognize it and I had to address it. I had to recognize it when it's time to be a critical thinker because I'm a nurse. Yes, I'd be a critical thinker then because somebody's life is at stake. So yes, I have to do the real fine detailed assessment. But then it's a time where, okay, you're taking things overboard, Jeanna. Right now you're looking at different types of boards and things are, I would go overboard with thinking with certain things to a point that the decision never got made. So I wanted to share that with someone as becoming well to be able to show you the solution to operate in wellness. I had to become well. I had to become healed of certain heart issues and things like that. I had to master wellness within myself first. So that's why I'm able to share with you guys wellness is a big, important factor in business. It's a big, important factor. And even if you have issues, some of us, we just have health issues. Okay, what is in place that your business will continue to run? Someone that I love their pivot right now as a business owner. She may be watching. I love this journey of Deidre Moon because her business still is up and running. Nothing got shut down. None of her offices got closed or nothing like that. Things was on standstill, but her business is still very well present. I love her journey. And that's one of the things that made me go and look. I said, well, if something was to happen, can my business still run? Do everything got to shut down because I'm not able to do it? If something happened to me, is this thing set up with my nonprofit that the people still get fed every week? Is things set up that individuals, if they're in a crisis, they're able to have someone is in place to be able to respond to someone that's on the break of no return, or someone that's on the break of considering suicide, someone that's on the break of reusing drugs again, and they need to hear somebody's voice right here and right now. If I'm down, that is my nonprofit organization set up to the point that those people can get a solution and a problem solved. Those are the things that I have to think about. So when I think about wellness, I think about all of those factors in business. Let me see here what else I got here. Preparations, and that ties into preparation. And then preparation team. You got to have the right team. You got to have people that have the like-minded of not you, but the vision and the mission. You got to have people that have the like-mindedness of the vision and the mission. So long as they are in line and in tune and have caught hope, and this is for businesses, organizations, ministries. If there's any leaders or pastors or anybody watching, if these are anyone that are presidents of organizations, business owners, because businesses can have boards too. Businesses can have teams. Anyone that have a team of people that are in place in the that operates in the process of making sure that your product or your services are executed, they have to be aligned with the vision and the mission. I don't need you to be aligned with me. I need you to be aligned. They need to be aligned with the vision and the mission. When they're aligned with that, then they're going to make sure that you are doing your part to get things executed. They are doing their part to get things executed, and the need is being met. So I don't know how long I've been going, Sasha, but I feel like I need some water. But this is some of the things that I just wanted to cover for my part of the segment. So eating well, thinking well, operating well, being productive. You know, we can master all of those tasks. I just think back to when I was working on the floor in the clinical setting as a nurse. It's certain things that had to be done within that 8 hours. Of course, nursing is 24 hours, but I'm using this example because this is what I know. I know nursing. So I use those analogies to bring my point across. We had to have certain things done with those residents within a certain amount of time. And it had to be done. It wasn't that I procrastinate, I didn't get it done. If we didn't do it, it was considered a delay of treatment. Certain things, if it wasn't rendered, it's considered insubordination. It was considered abuse because, it was certain things that could fall in the category of. So within that 8 hours, certain things had to be done. It wasn't, no, I cannot do it right now. No, I don't feel like doing it. No, I'm not going to bath that resident today. No, I'm not going to give them their medicine today. No, I'm not going to do that treatment today. It had to be done. Certain medications you cannot abruptly miss. Certain wound treatments cannot not be done. So you want to make sure that you master everything that you're supposed to be doing within the time frame. You can accomplish all of those tasks. You can have that business. You can write that book. You can get that nonprofit organization thriving. You can thrive in every area that you are willed by God to do. If you are willed by God to do it, then you are supposed to be successful in it. That's just the name point of the game, point blank, period. If you are willed, that business is the will of God for your life. If that's the will for you to be the one to move forward in that business, then it's supposed to be successful. It's not supposed to be easy, but it is supposed to be successful. So I did want to let you know that you are supposed to be successful in it. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard sometimes. And those that are looking to get started, go ahead and get started. Several people have said that, move forward in it. Go ahead and get it going, because it's not going to be an easy journey. Let no one fool you. Nothing is going to be easy about going into business. Nothing's going to be easy. If you have purpose, if you are creative, if you're an igniter, if you're someone of purpose, it's just not going to be easy. It's not. It's not. But just move forward and learn how to overcome those hurdles. You can overcome those hurdles, okay? It's absolutely possible. Nothing is impossible. Take the limits off as well. One of the things that I want people to understand is take the limits off. We're do cliches, we'll post, but in wellness and in business, take the limits off, okay? Make sure that you are not putting limits on what you can master, because you can absolutely do it. So if you don't take anything else away from what I am saying, make sure that you understand the importance of being well as a business owner, mentally, physically, spiritually. Be well moving in your business, because after a while, if you're not addressing any issues of wellness, it's going to catch up with you. So that's what I want to stress the importance of. And be understanding that these last couple of weeks are very important to a lot of us. I cannot say that enough. I cannot stress that enough. It's so, so important. Everything that you are doing right now, every decision you're making, every place your feet tread is very important. If you're supposed to show up at that meeting, if you're supposed to show up at that event, if you're supposed to have a proposal ready, do it. Sometimes some of y'all may have just get something to say. Well, it ain't gonna be something God to say. Have you start writing up stuff, writing up things like your capability statements, or start practicing. If an investor was to come up to me right now, what would I say to that investor that would provoke him or her to cut me a check right then and there? I want to be able to go in offices and say, or go into companies and tell them the benefits of why they should write a check. You want to be able to be at a point that when you open your mouth, you can tell them the benefits of why they should invest in your business or your purpose. When we go into 2022, doing business, we want to see some evidence of results. We want to see demonstration. So that's where I'm at right now. Because if I'm pitch ready, I want to see the results of me being pitch ready. If I have my business set up and I have everything in place, I want to see the results in the demonstration. There's more room. Even me, I need to grow more. Because if I'm talking like I'm talking now, I need to see the results. It's time for y'all to get some checks cut to y'all, some real checks. It's time for people to start stroking checks to y'all, to your purpose, to your business, to what you're trying to do. The days of struggling as a business owner and as a nonprofit organization, as ministries, those days are going to cease long as we are in position and ready to move forward in what we are doing. So as business owners, getting your wellness in check, getting your mind in check, being very purpose ready, being pitch and purpose ready. So you not only need to be pitch ready, but you need to be purpose ready. So when you get that money, it'll be released to you, and you'll, number one, be disciplined with it, but you can be ready to receive what is due to your purpose. So yes, we're going to talk about money because it takes money to do things. We're not doing things to be shucking and jiving. I mean, y'all just doing it for willy-nilly. Yes, we have a mission and we have a purpose, but it takes finances for those things that, for us to do more. It takes finances to be able to stay in buildings. It takes finances for us to be able to make products. It takes finances for us to research and prepare and get materials together to present, to help these communities that are undeserving get results and get the help they need. It takes money to do that. So we need to be purpose and pitch ready, so we can really start getting these checks and getting the money and getting what we deserve to survive and help others to come out of the ruts that they are in. So I am wrapping up. I hope that was helpful. I'm getting ready to bring on, I believe, our last speaker. I'm not rushing. Yes, it's my birthday, but I'm not rushing. But the dynamic of some things did change. But we're getting ready to bring on the last speaker of today. and she is been a great assistance to the efforts of this event. She's been the one behind the scenes. Her name is Miss Sasha Walton, public speaker, consultant, event and marketing strategist. And she is an award-winning, innovative event strategist with the driven passion to see a plan manifest into the full potential of how it was envisioned for each client. Her added wealth of knowledge in years of event planning, marketing, public relations, branding, corporate experience, strategy implementation, branding, corporate experience, strategy. Oh, am I reading that over again? See how that dyslexia and see how that stuff kick in? I'm used to reading stuff going the back other way. And consulting experience has increased success for many of her clients and other businesses. Y'all, I want to welcome to the stage Miss Sasha. Come on the stage, beautiful.
Best in the world.
And y'all,
Can I take a picture, modify it on my wall? Make I take it to Nigeria, Lagos straight to Kenya. See the gift of nature, we go make you love adventure, yeah. Yeah, you know, so you are diva. Beauty brighter than gold and silver. I love everything about you. When you're napping up because I mean what the man go do. Them and them gon' fall in love with you and all of your glory. Your skin is not only dark, it shines and it tells your story. Keep dancing, they can't control you. They're watching, they all adore you. If ever you're worried out, remember what mama told you. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. Your back against the world. I'll never trade you for anybody else. Say brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. The best thing in the world. I'll never trade you for best in the world. Can I take a picture, modify?
Okay, here I am. That's what happens when you behind the scenes working everything. Hey everybody, I had to take the note out of Josh's entry and use a little music and just show a little something that I've done over the years. But I am Sasha Walton. I am the owner of SWI Management Group, and hold on, sorry, there's one thing I forgot to start when I did this. But yeah, I am the owner of SWI Management Group, and I am here today to just tell you a little bit about what I have to speak with you, and as well as, you know, a little bit about myself. We specialize in event production, project management, strategic planning, and marketing. I've been in this thing for almost over 20 years. I'm not trying to date myself or anything, but I've been in this thing and I've learned a lot over the years, had a lot of great opportunities. But today I am going to talk to you about the blueprint of success and how it begins with you. So the blueprint of success is basically, you know, it's the pulling of what is inside of you to be evident outside of you. It's the gifts, the talents, the confidence, believing that you can accomplish the task and goal of becoming an entrepreneur or business owner, or even if you are a first generation business owner. But moving forward and creating a new path, a legacy, longevity, and posterity is where your success begins. And what I love about all the speakers today, just listening to everybody, I just, you know, you'll see in a moment how everything is going to wrap itself up, and, you know, God is just good in how he do things. And so it's about believing in yourself. You know, that success, it starts here. Jeanna talked on it. A lot of other people talked on it. And Francis began with it. And you're going to be bombarded with a lot of fear mechanisms. You are going to be your biggest enemy. Your biggest enemy is yourself. However, you embrace the fears, and it's the fears that can cause a plan to fail and become nothing at all. But you have to embrace it and move forward. So your destiny won't be paralyzed. Pressing forward into it, and at the end of the day, you know that you have that great idea, you have that great service, especially one that creates solutions or a product that solves a problem. The things that are out there that people can benefit from, you want to show that to the world. You want to show everything that you have. And like that song said, you want to show your glory, and the things that God is giving you to do in your business. Let's see, what else do I have here? It also begins with understanding your niche. What is in you? What do you have? The skills, the experience, the education, everything that you can wrap up into what your niche is and how you want to address the world with what you have. And it sets you apart. It differentiates yourself from the competition. It's your everything that you have in that area. It sets you apart. I'm sorry, my dog wants to be vocal now. But being comfortable with yourself and who you are, it begins with your thought patterns, the view of how you conduct business and how well you work with others. So remember, no matter how many people are out there doing the same thing that you are, don't let that scare you. You know, they're not you. You still do what's put in you to do this. You know, you look on the shelf, you go to a grocery store and you can see all the laundry detergents out there. You can see all the cereals out there, and there's so many. But with the laundry detergent, I'm going to go back and use that as an analogy. You got all these different types of laundry detergent out there, but they all do something different. One is better than the other, but they're still there because evidently it's the sales determines what people want. That's the same thing with you. Just do what you do. Don't worry about anything else. I think somebody had put in the comments earlier about wanting to start over and wanting to do it the right way. You know, that's the great concept, because a lot of times, a lot of businesses, a lot of people start a business and for whatever reasons, but they do it so fast that they don't do it with structure. And Jeanna really touched on a lot of things about discipline and having structure. You want to have that as a business. And so you are unique in who you are and you move forward. And I just want to empower you with that, because it comes from here. How you think and how you feel about yourself, and if you're going to be a business owner, is what is going to portray through that business. It's going to be the lax. It's going to be the where you go but so far and then you fall backwards because, you know, you're not in that right place within yourself. So it really does start from here. So, and once you get those things cleared within yourself, you can effectively think clearly on the things you need to accomplish. And then from that point, you can move forward in building your business and going into the process of it. Strategy is the biggest thing. Being strategic. That's why I love to put up there strategic planning. I call myself a strategist. That's one thing. Anybody that calls me and talks to me, we're going to talk about strategy first, because you have to look at where you want to go. And how you want to do that, and building your plan and strategizing about it. A lot of times people don't have strategy. They don't have good strategy, and when they launch their business. And so that's why they seem like they are all over the place. You know, I got to do this, I got to do that. And that's when that overwhelming can set in. That's when those fears can start coming back in again, because it make you feel like, oh, I can't do this, because you're all over the place. But when you started with that structure and you have that foundation and being strategic in what you do, then it puts you on that right path, and everything can just flow the way it needs to flow. And then initially or eventually it will be on autopilot. So you always want to be ready, and being ready is here first, and let it project into what you're doing. I have my notes written here and everything, and I'm just still talking, so I'm kind of like, I'm not all over the place, but it's just things dropping as I come, so bear with me. Strategy helps you to create leverage. That's one of the biggest things that you have as a business owner, you creating a leverage in what you do. The one thing I like to share with business owners in that form of thinking, you know, when you think large in the beginning, you know, like you have these big corporations and you see them at the end of what they are, you know, the Coca-Cola, you know, this big, massive, you know, they got offices all over the world. It's a big brand and everything, but they all had a starting point, just like you do. But when you're writing out your vision, and when you're writing out that business plan and your mission statement, think of yourself from the end. Try to see yourself at the end first. You know, it's like in the beginning of it, you see yourself at the end, just like how the word says, you know, you're looking at yourself. God sees you at the end state of who you are. And that's how he can push you to get there. You just don't know how you're going to get there. But when you get there, you're like, oh, this is me. So same thing. Think large. Think as a large entity, as a large business. Even though you haven't even made the first dollar, think of where you are at that moment. Bring it back to your present and then write it out. That's the best way to kind of, you know, understand where you want to go. You know, you have the idea, but you have to take that conception and put it into a plan. So, and that leads me to talk about business plans. You have to have a business plan. You have to outline what you want to do as a business. Now, a part of that is for yourself, it's for your business, and then also it's for other companies, entities who would want to, you know, if you want to go to a bank, sometimes it's good to have your business plan. If you want to get to a place where you need an investor, they're going to want to see your business plan. They want to see all the intricacies of what you're doing, how you're going to get there. You should have your short-term goals, and you should have long-term goals in it. You should have these things, anything that's going to, depending on the type of business you have, what type of technology do you need to support your business? How big your team should be? Your earnings, your profit and loss, you know, your expenses, what you gauge, what you're going to end up making. You're not even gauge what you end up making, but you want to gauge what you want to make. You know, gauge what you want to make and set that plan to get to that goal. One of the things I've heard over the years, one thing I did do a lot of is networking. And being in position to learn. You always be in position to learn. You will never know this thing. You know, it's always a learning experience. You're always going to learn what you need to know. Be teachable. Don't get to that place where you feel like you got it all. Always be teachable, because you can learn something different. I think someone touched on it. I think it was Kiani, about, you know, not knowing who you're going to meet, but just embrace those things. You know, you'll know just within you that discernment is, okay, yeah, I can connect with that person. I can connect with this person. I can learn from this person. I can do this and do that. And it doesn't always have to mean they have to stay in your life forever, but some people are there for whatever reasons they're there for. You know, you take that, you move forward and keep going. So, the business plan is something that you need. And the point I was going to make was, oh my gosh, my dog, I guess he wants to help me with my speech today. He's been quiet this entire time, but so anyway, the point I want to make about that is, when I learned was, you take that business plan and you still review it. Sometimes a lot of business owners, they'll write that plan and then they'll put it up. But how many times do you go back to that plan to review it, to check off, make notes on it, you know, see where you have accomplished? You know, did you accomplish that goal for the year? Did you accomplish that goal, you know, for the next 2 years or so forth? Do you need to write something extra? Do you need to revise it because you're starting to grow? You know, when you scale for growth on so many different levels, it's not just on revenue, but it's about how you build your business and how you build yourself within that business. A lot of times, a lot of people will focus on the revenue end of it. Yes, that is the excellent result we all want to get to. But the thing there is that scale of growth includes everything. It includes your network. It includes your investments. It includes who you have on board as your team. It includes what path you're going to make. Well, it includes the products that you put out there, the services that you do. How well do you work with your customers? Do you value your customers and your clients? Do you have good customer service? Do you have good customer relationship? All those things are part of scaling for growth. And what end up happening is that longevity that comes out of it, that you can last for generations and generations and generations. And ultimately, that's where you want to go when you create legacy with it. I said more than I wanted to say in that area, but the SBA.gov, you can find a good template. They have plenty of templates on that website, and you can use it, download it. It's free. That is a good resource for you to have. You can sign up for webinars. You could do a lot of things that will help you get to moving and get you in the right direction as far as your business and the structure of what you want to do. A part of that business plan, I would say, you know, I did include, you know, you want to have your goals, your short-term goals, your long-term goals, your financials, you know, all that good stuff you want to have in there. your marketing, there should be a marketing strategy. And in fact, have a whole section, a marketing plan within that. Josh touched on something earlier where and I'm glad he was in position, companies, want to get prints and graphic arts and all this other stuff and flyers. And he asked them, do you have a targeted audience? And a lot of times they don't know what they want to do. So he talks to them about that. So branding and marketing are not one and the same. However, branding is a result of a marketing strategy. Branding is that vehicle that takes you to where you want to go and how you want to be shown before people. That's how you have your right graphics, you have your website, you have all these things to portray that image before the masses. That's what branding is. But marketing, that strategy you have to have, so in that way you know what your target audience is. And then with that marketing strategy is a vehicle to move your business plan along. It shows what you want to do. It shows how you're going to get there and how you're going to do it. So in that way, with your business plan, you want to do X, Y, Z. So the marketing strategy says, this is how you're going to do X, Y, Z. And then the branding says, this is how we're going to show it. So that's how it works all together. So a lot of times people say, I'm a brand. But if you don't have a strategy behind it, then you're just branding for nothing. And you can't support the business that come your way for it. What if you're doing a good thing in branding and you have all the right tools, but you can't handle the business because you didn't prepare? So those are the things that you want to look at and how these things all work together. So you want to have those good strategies in that business plan, your marketing plan, and including your branding strategy as well. One of the other things to put in there is your market research. Jeanna talked about analytics. And so a lot of times, when we think about analytics, we'll look at it from the back end of things. So it's like when you have your website, or if you're on social media and you're pushing things, you're doing ads, you're doing your Facebook posts or whatever, and you always see the analytics. They show you how well you're doing. So you want to do your analytics as far as on your business. So when you have this product, when you have this new service that you want to launch, do a market research. Let Google be your friend. Google is our friend on the other end of things. Let Google be your friend and look at some of these other businesses in the industry that you're getting into. Look at some of the products and services that are closely aligned to what you want to do. You can even use that to, see what your competitors are doing, because that's really what they end up being if you're in the same type of industry. Look at what your competitors are doing and how you can set yourself apart with your business service and or your product. So one of the things that I've been fortunate to do over the years, like what I've done with my business in myself, is combining everything that I've learned. I've been in corporate America for over 20 years. I've been in business for over 20 years. I kind of started around the same time doing business on the side and then launching it and going into, from doing on the side, the improper way, just being like, oh, I'm just doing my business, but it really was a hobby. And then you go into structuring it. So I went into the LLC. Now I'm actually an S Corp now. But those are the paths that I learned over the years, and I'm able to, talk to you today. But in my experience, as far as working in corporate America, I've worked with my church before and everything. And I'm sorry, excuse the overhead, the jet is flying by. But I've also have taken leadership courses in leadership skills and enhancing those things. I have my education. I have my master's in management, my bachelor's in business administration and management. So what I've done is pulled all those things together to make it work for my business. But one of the things when you are looking into leadership, they do what you call a SWOT analysis. It is it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's one of the things that you can also include in your business plan as far as your strategy. You want to look at when you're doing that market research, attach it to a SWOT analysis. Look at your strengths of what you're doing for your business. How strong can it be? What is your weak points? Is your weak points because you don't have enough people on a team, or you still have to learn certain things, or look at those different things that make up your weakness. What are the opportunities out there? Where can you get involved in? Where can you, I want to use Jeanna as an example. She has her products, her natural care. So now she's launching with Walmart and all these different things, and congratulations, I love what you're doing. But those are her opportunities. You know, she looked at her opportunities and how to outline those things. But what are your threats? You know, are they the competitors? Are they, you know, is it pricing? Is it, you know, your supplies have to come from overseas and you have all these issues? So those could be your threats. So when you look at those things and you build that into your business plan, it helps you to identify where you want to go, and you know from that point of planning how you need to put things in place to overcome it or learn how to handle it when it happens a little bit better, and so forth. So that just helps you to plan out things a lot better. Going into your business plan, your marketing plan of things, you want to have those good components of implementation. It's not just social media. A lot of times, because of the digital age that we're in, a lot of people will push social media, push, you know, all the digital marketing, which is the big part of it in these days. However, you don't want to minimize the traditional side of marketing as well. So you want to put that in your plan, all scopes of how you want to put yourself out there, how you want to move it forward. You know, that's looking into, you have a Google My Business account, which is free. You could utilize that. Do you use Yelp? You know, not just for searching things and looking at reviews, but if you have a standalone business with an address, are you on Yelp so people can find you? Little things like that. Then you have your social media, then you have your website, and you have online marketing, you have, you know, commercials, videos, and so forth. So those are the things you want to look at. There's a whole technological side to it as well, because now you get into more the depthness of it with, you know, do you want to use text messaging as, you know, that people subscribe and you send these messages to them? Do you want to use geofencing, you know, just to be in a place where people are, you know, as long as they use Google or search for something, because you have that component, then they can find you so much easier. So there's a lot of things to it that you want to do, but research those options. And then also, if you want to consult with me, I'm here to help you as well. But at the beginning stage of your process, you also want to look at your formation of your business. A lot of times people will form that business, like I said, and then, you know, you go from, an idea to, I'm just going to start doing it. So you will do what you have to do. You start going to the business, even if it's paparazzi or anything like that. So all you know is, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make this money. I'm going to file it, but you're using your social security number. You don't have your EIN number. Or, you know, you start to make certain things. You want to look at, is being a sole proprietor, is that better than being an LLC? However, the LLC helps to protect you. You know, it separates your personal and your business. So, you know, you want to look at those structures. And then if you're making X amount of money, then you have to look at, when do I cross over into being an S Corp and having that filing status? There are different tax advantages to each component. The S Corp, you can claim a little bit more. You can do a little bit more on that end. So you want to research those things. The legalities of what you have. You want to make sure you have your contracts in order. Even if you're doing DIY contracts, make sure you cover yourself. I joined a lot of business groups, and I'm in this PR group on Facebook, and there are countless times where I see PR reps having issues because, you know, their clients don't want to abide by the contracts, but then they don't have everything in the contract, so they're asking the group, what should we do? So I've consulted some of them as far as like, look, this is what you need to put in your contract and everything, and help them to navigate through that process. But you want to look at that. LegalZoom is really good. You can have they help you form a lot of things if you want to pay for it. You know, they'll show you the difference between LLCs, S Corps, and so forth. But they do have a monthly fee. It's very low. If you want to use it to help you with your contracts, you could do that. So you could have some type of legal advice on your side at all times without having to retain a lawyer all the time. So those are some resources that are there. But building your contract, as long as you have everything to protect yourself, clauses to protect yourself, then, you know, you're okay. But a lot of times people live and learn from it, and we don't want to just do that. We want to research everything you need to do so you won't have to have so many trial and errors. It's not a bad thing to have that, because that's what makes us stronger, but that's something you want to avoid going forward. And if you're just launching your business, starting it off right will be the best thing for you. So everything you do, it positions your business, and you want to make sure you have everything in place for success. As a good marketing tool as well, before I move on for that, I want to double back, is events. Because I am an event producer, I have worked on all kinds of events from the largest to the smallest. I have corporations that I work with, state and federal contracting. I'm actually a global business. I have a customer in India. I work with a corporation over there for their 5Ks they have in the U.S. And so, like I said, everything you do is, oh, sorry, reading the notes and everything, the comments, but everything you do positions your business for that. But marketing and events is everything. A lot of times people look at events, oh, I just want to have an event, bring people together and just do something. It's more to it when you're a business owner. You are showcasing your skills, your talents, your gifts, your experience. You're showcasing your business. You're showcasing your products and services, and that's how you bring people together, of course. But then you have your followers. You understand what your target audience is, and from there you can get potential customers, and others get to see what you do. So have an event of your own or partnering with an event is always good. So you want to make sure you do that, and then I can talk to you more about that offline if anybody wants consulting with that. One of the biggest things I really love, and I just want to, whoever you are by nature, a lot of times, if you're a people person, if you are just good at some things, good-natured people, things just come easy. Those are the things that you want to make sure you exemplify before people. You let that come out because that's the values of who you are. You embed that into your business. So one of the biggest things I feel like small business owners really overlook is their customers. A lot of times, people say, oh yeah, I got the customer, they just blah, blah, blah. And they let them go, whatever. But you want to be able to be engaged with your customers. You want to have an experience with them. You want them to have an experience with your service and your products. And you want to let them know that you value them. Building that relationship with them is everything. Because people make business work. Whether they're employed by you or they're a customer or client, they make your business work. So show that value with them, and let them know that they're just not a number. It's not just a dollar sign. They are individuals that will help make or break your company. And Google is their friend, and people love to review businesses. I have been fortunate to write a customer relationship program for the Coast Guard for their exchanges and for the associates to train on. So that's like one of the biggest things. It is something that is real and it's something that is relevant. So you definitely want to make sure you do that. And I don't know it's something I just have to say, but as far as, I don't know how many people are viewing who are African American, but with our culture, some things that, we have to bring more value to. And so as a people, so we have to value our customers as small business owners. There's so many times I would hear, someone say, but that's why I don't like doing business with them, or I don't like because of this. Let's change that narrative and show more excellence as a culture in business. So we can get more support, and people want to support Black businesses more. Everything you do is so beyond yourself. It's you yourself is great, your goals, your vision, but you want to realize and understand that business is a kinetic thing, just like kinetic energy. It forms, it moves. Everything that you have to do makes that business work and move. And human capital is highly important to a business, like I said, whether you're employing them or they're your customers. If not, then your business can go down because of that also. But knowing that you yourself as a person, you make that business work. So having yourself together mentally, and your wellness and everything will help you navigate your business a lot more as well. I'm almost wrapping up here, Jeanna. I'm almost finished. Also, look at the fact of your product and your service. A lot of times what is good to you may not be what people want. So look at your product and your service to make sure that it is something that they would want, or go. Don't be afraid to go back to the drawing board, in pivoting and redeveloping something. For my business, being strictly in that event industry when the pandemic hit, it really hit the whole industry. I have been fortunate to be able to run my business full time for 2 years, and I loved it. And that's the route I wanted to go. Um, but the pandemic happened. So I did go back to work. Thankfully, God blessed me with a good job working with the government. And so now I'm doing this thing along with running my business now and coming back into full speed of things. But it caused me to have to pivot some. So I had to kind of tap into other skills and resources, which was, the marketing aspect, looking into more doing copywriting and going into more of the virtual events and PR and things of that nature. So look at what you have and understand it. Are you able to pivot at any time? Is your business versatile? Are your products and services versatile, or can they stand the lifetime, like Regina had touched on? Can they withstand change? And unfortunately, a lot of businesses did close down. And however, but a lot of them launched. A lot of new businesses had launched. So, but also make sure that you can always withstand change. Just wanted to kind of piggyback on what Regina said about that. Let's see. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to do. I just want to make a good point about when you are doing research, look at the reviews of your competitors. If you have the same type of product or service, look at their reviews. Any negative reviews can be a benefit to you because you'll know how to make yours a little different and better than the next person. Just like I used the laundry detergent analogy. You have all these laundry detergents. One does work better than the other, and some are just preferred or over the other. But as long as you can stand on that same shelf for the lifetime of things, then you're in a good position. So these are just some of the nuggets that I just wanted to kind of give to everybody to help you strategize and to scale for growth and make sure that your return on investment, it is excellent in every area of your business. That you're enjoying the rewarding aspect of it, that you will overcome the overwhelming part of it, that you continue to move forward. That's what I'm doing now because, like I said, with the whole pandemic, that was very overwhelming, but I was able to pivot. So now I'm coming out with a whole new thing with speaking and really implementing that to where I'm the face of my business versus me just behind the scenes all the time. So that's one of the things that you want to embrace. Change. You want to embrace the unfamiliar. You want to get out your box. You want to just make sure that you just continue to step forward. Just step forward in everything you do. And that's how the blueprint of success begins with you. Regina, I am finished.
All right. Okay. What a dynamic day. This has been such an amazing event. I am just grateful to have been able to be the visionary of this. I, of course, do not take any of this of glory to myself. Always glory to God first. And I'm just grateful of everyone that participated behind the scenes, in the scenes, around the scenes, through the scenes, on top of the scenes, under the scenes. I thank everyone for their contributing efforts. Now, two of the speakers, because I know people might look at the flyer and say, well, you had such and such and such on the flyer and we didn't hear from them. Some things happen beyond our control. Certain circumstances did come up, but they do have something in store for you. So just stay tuned. We're going to have a little piggyback to follow behind this because some things did come up with two of our speakers that was well beyond their control on today. So we are keeping them in our prayers, and we are, looking forward to still hearing from them at a later time. I want to thank everyone that presented on today. I hope that you really take heed to all that was poured out and shared. This is your destiny at stake here. Sometimes we have to present things in a way to let you know this severity of your purpose being mastered by you being aligned to go forward. So I really thank Kiani. I thank Alana. I thank Josh of Innovative Twist. I thank Sasha. I thank all of you guys and Dr. Francis Bailey. I want to thank all of you guys for presenting today. We are wrapping up actually a little early, and that's good because I want people to still enjoy their day and still be able to do what they have to do. They didn't have to take the time out of their busy day to even, do this or be a part of this. And I'm glad that they caught on to the vision and they was able to present and share the great nuggets that they did. A lot of stuff was helpful, even to me. A lot of the stuff that I heard today was helpful to myself as well. And I'm going to go and watch the replay because I want to make sure that I did not miss anything. And if it's something I need to go and implement or readdress or redefine, even for myself, I'm going to make sure I do that because I'm taking very seriously these last moments of 2021 because my 2022 is now. Okay. So that's the mindset I hope you take on, that these moments are very imperative because your 2022 is now, even though you are still in the finalization of 2021. So I don't have anything further to say. For those that want to know more about what I do or any of the speakers, please place in the comments. We'll list all of our handles, all of our links. We will list all of that information below. If you have any questions, please list it. If you catch the replay, and you have questions, put it in the chat. We will be checking this periodically, and we will try to make sure that we address every concern and everything that you may have questions or want to know more about. And one thing about me, if I don't have the solution, I'm going to make sure that I get someone in place that can provide a sound, safe, and effective solution or an answer or the resource to whatever the concern or what you want to know more about, what you maybe want to start to embark upon. So I thank you all. I am just grateful. We are getting ready to wrap this up. Thank you, everyone that has tuned in near and far. Thank you, YouTube, everyone that watched on YouTube, those that may have watched on YouTube, and everyone that shared, that liked, in any format. Thank you so much. This has been a dynamic moment. This is actually just Jeanna's skincare, Jeanna's iFeed Kingdom Solutionist last event of 2021. And I just want to make sure that I fulfilled my assignment to the community and to the viewers. So y'all have a dynamic day. I see you guys in 2022. But your 2022, remember, is already here. Take full advantage. So when you get across that time frame of 2022 on the per the calendar, you will soar and not sink. Have a great day. Talk to you guys soon. Be well and be productive. Goodbye.